going live. Ta-da! Surprise. Well, hello, Mark. Nice to have you. Awesome. I am so excited for this conversation. I mean, we should have had 3 conversations at this time, but we now lumped it all into one. So let's see how that's going to go. I am super excited to be talking with Nico again. Nico, I don't know which side. There, whichever works. So Nico and I, we were on a live on his channel a while ago now, September last year.
I was gonna say it's been a bit.
My goodness, way too long, Nico, way too long. So, and I mean, we kind of knew this already, but in the live, it cemented itself. It's Friday. I can't speak English anymore, so just roll with it. That we both like female authors, fantasy sci-fi female authors, especially if they wrote books in like the 80s and 90s. So we made like the, random decision to start a book club together because we wanted to read more of those books and we love talking about those books. So yeah, that's what that Backlist book club is in a kind of roundabout weird conversation, which is what Nico and I are talking about today. But we already had a lot of people joining us, so if that is something you're in general interested in, again, female authors, fantasy, sci-fi, Backlist titles, you're always welcome to join us on Nico's Discord, and we'll put the link in things as well. Do you have a cocktail with you? Did I miss out by not bringing a cocktail?
It's just water.
Oh, so. Okay, good. That makes me feel better.
Now I kind of feel like I should have a cocktail now. That reminds me. I did a live one time and we were joking about that, and then my wife happened to be watching and then brought me in a cocktail. So there's always a chance, but I did not plan ahead.
Well, we don't have alcohol in this household, so I highly doubt that even if my husband would watch, which I also don't think he does.
Get him cocktail.
I have to just come to Des Moines real quick, right? Iowa.
Yeah.
Visit my 100%. Parents-in-law at the same time because they live in Iowa too. So,
there you go.
Kind of stuff. Yeah. So we started the Backlist book club because, we wanted to, and we just went with the idea and loved it. And we started in October last year. Well, unofficially, we started in September. You read a book in September already that I didn't join in. Then we started. No, did I join in? Oh, it was that Sarah Douglas book, right? We never really talked about that one. That I need to continue at one point. But then officially, we started in October and went till November.
Marilyn and I were going to tentatively read book 2 this month. If you want to try and shove something else.
Listen,
not like you're busy.
Do you know how much thick fantasy I'm reading this month? So I'm late on the Red Rising read along. So I have to read Red Rising and Iron Gold this month.
Oh, no,
then I read.
Not do that.
We're reading Assassin's Apprentice in the BookTube Creators Guild. We're reading Assassin's Apprentice. Then I still am finishing our January book, so I'm at like 73% right now. I'm still reading Kai's book, which is her new debut book where the Kickstarter just launched. I'm still having like 200 pages or so on that one, and then there was something else that I'm missing right now. So I'm good with thick sci-fi. Oh, and Sheep Farmer's Daughter, our February Backlist book club book.
But
so,
look at it.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Listen, that's what I really love. I mean, other than all these books that we've read so far, but these covers on all these books, that classic fantasy sci-fi feel, so good. So good.
Yeah. When you have a bigger version of Black Sun Rising than I do, but the cover for this book.
I have the book club edition.
That still looks beautiful though. But yeah, the art on this series in general, but especially this with like the sword, is just so cool. So yeah,
like book 2,
that classic art. Oh man, yeah, that looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get copies of books 2 and 3. I started book 2 on audio because it was Alex's fault. She started it and said something, and then I'm like, dang it, now I want to do it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and there it goes. That's kind of the thing too, right? Like we have read 3 books so far, started 3 series. Well, was Tanith Lee, was that a standalone?
It technically was a series, but I don't know that they were like super related. But
Okay. Well, whatever. But for all of them, we're continuing. So by the end of the year, because we have books planned till I believe November, we have then 11 series, 12 probably, with the unofficial one that you just hauled up from Sarah Douglas. We're in the middle of 12 series, so we're then reading like 12 series in the middle of, well, some of those are trilogies, so we hopefully finish them in the 12 months. But
yeah, it's funny because like I almost hope that we don't like all of them just because I don't think we're
no
going to be able to
kidding.
keep up with wanting to continue everything right away because Vorkosigan was bad enough. I with multiple books that we then read after, which was a great time, but it's just like doing that. And then, I've started Black Sun Rising too, still never continued the Sarah Douglas, although I want to there. And it's just, yeah. And I'm really excited for the February pick too.
Oh, yes.
So I have a strong feeling I'm really going to like, man, I need to get a copy of this one too. So I've been trying to organically find the books for this as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've gotten really lucky with some of them because with finding like some Vorkosigan copies and I after not that long after we had picked all of the books, I was at a used bookstore that's like an hour away from me that I had never been to before. And they had like a huge selection of older mass market paperbacks, and I ended up finding several. And it was like, I'm like, I can't even believe this. I've never seen these books in any stores ever. And I'm like, I find them. So I've gotten really lucky. So I need to just go. I'm sure if I look hard enough, I can find decent copies, but I've kind of liked the organically finding them too has
Yeah.
been fun. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I love that so the ones that I didn't already have. So that was also a little bit of a thing where we looked at when we put the list together, right? That okay, do we maybe have them already or are those books that we had on our list for a long time? And the ones that I didn't have already on the shelves, my library has been fantastic with that, I have to say. So the Sarah Douglas one, what was the first book called? I'm blanking on the name right now. Wayfarer? Was it
Yeah.
Wayfarer?
Wayfarer Redemption in
Yes.
the US.
Oh,
It's
UK has a
it's
different
called
title?
Well, so it's called it was originally because the author's Australian and it was published in Australia originally under a slightly different name. Um, and I'm drawing a blank on Battle. I think it was just called Battle Axe
Ah,
originally.
interesting. Which makes sense because the battle axe is important in the story.
Yeah, and
That's been
Wayfarer
around, I
Redemption is
think.
the name of like the series.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway, so library has been fantastic. The Tanith Lee book library has been fantastic. So that's the nice thing if you read older books, the likelihood of your library having them pretty high. Pretty high.
It's been hit or miss for me. My library is pretty okay. I sometimes I have better luck with they'll have physical copies of
Mm,
older books instead of digital. So it kind of works either way. But they have a pretty good selection. They definitely don't have everything I look for, but I feel like pretty lucky with some things. So
yeah. Yeah. All right. So our first three books, October, November, and January. So far, those are the ones that we want to talk about really today a little bit. I mean, we talk a lot already, or we've talked a lot already in the Discord, but I always find it nice, live a little bit. You can go
yeah.
into more depth. I hate typing. My goodness.
Well, yeah. I'm so bad about actually posting thoughts in Discord, and that's why like videos are nice or like talking on lives like this too, because I can just say things. I don't have to be like, I gotta turn them
Yeah,
all
that
up.
is very
That's
true.
why I don't write reviews almost ever, because I don't want to. That's why I do video.
Fair, fair. Yeah, I never know. Like I watched there's this Irish dude on YouTube who posts like random things and he taste tests things. And he said the other day he has a hard time describing what food tastes like other than it delicious and it didn't kill me. And I'm like, yeah, that's how I feel with books.
I
Like this
mean,
was awesome. It's hard
nothing
booktube
wrong with
life.
that.
My goodness. All right, so three books. We read Shards of Honor. Oh my god, I'm so jealous that you have those. I love these covers.
I was gonna say they are a little interesting, some of these covers, but they're kind of, I don't know, cheesy in a good way. Um, but I was gonna say I like them. Some of them are weird, but yeah, that's my Shards of Honor.
Well,
I
there's
have.
also so many versions of Shards of Honor. I mean, I don't know, 5, 6 different cover versions.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's book 2. No, Bariah. Wait,
Yeah.
hang on. Yes, that's book 2. Oh my goodness, I'm totally all over the place.
I don't think I have my other version out still, but yeah.
How dare you, Nico?
What's the fun? I say this is a questionable cover though.
Okay. I mean, those are all better than the new ones that the Kindle versions have right now.
Yes.
Those are horrible.
They are
horrible. I don't even know. I don't know. Anyway, well, I've started buying those on Kindle because I don't have a good used bookstore. I don't have any used bookstore in my area, to be very honest.
Mm.
And I'm always kind of weird with buying on like eBay or thrift books or whatever. I do it sometimes if I really, really want it. And at one point, I will want Vorkosigan really, really bad too. But I never had luck with those. Like they always say great condition, and then I get a thing without the dust jacket or something. I was like, yeah, that's not great condition, people. Come on.
Yeah, no, I've had really similar experiences for sure.
Yeah. So first sci-fi, a lot of fun, and we immediately read book 2 and 3 after. I think we are all stuck on the novella now, right? I don't think either one of us has read the novella yet.
I have not yet. I think that's actually in that one with the bad cover I was just holding up. I'm pretty sure because that's a book club like combo version. But yeah, I am. I feel like I'm still very eager to continue, but also we just have all had a lot of like different stuff going on. So
yeah,
I'm absolutely down to keep going as soon as possible. So it's. At least that'll be a shorter one to fit in. So whenever we do it, it won't be like a huge commitment. But
that is true.
Yeah,
we're just blaming Kate right now, right? Because she has been continuing with us too, and she is still stuck, I think, in Warrior's Apprentice. So we're just blaming her. I'll just, I think she'll be fine with it, right?
Yeah.
So
I like it.
For those who have not read Shards of Honor, how would you describe it?
Yeah, so it's Shards of Honor was really interesting because it was so many things, and that's why it was kind of hard to describe because obviously it's like, your sci-fi thing, but it starts off being like, oh, you have your main character Cordelia, she's on like a survey mission, and so she's a scientist, but then you have like the military sci-fi type of stuff. It's got action, it's got romance, it's got some dry humor. It's just there's so much going on. And for me, the biggest thing I was surprised with is how well Bujold brought it all together and just made it work.
Yeah.
And how quickly I was just pulled in and I'm like, man, I like this world. I like these characters. It was just a little bit of everything, but done really well for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I was surprised by, because it's a pretty fast-paced book too. And her writing is also very, very fast-paced, I thought. I mean, it slows down a little bit. In Warrior's Apprentice, you're at a better pace, but Shards of Honor was, I think, the fastest. And even Bariah, I still don't know how you officially
I've been saying Barrier, but
sure.
I have no idea. It's one of those things where like my brain, I just decide how it's pronounced and that's what it is in my head. So
yes. Same with Malazan, right? Like at one point that's just how you say it, or the other way. I can't even say that the other way anymore, but
I've tried to correct myself. I've always said Malazan, and I know that's technically wrong, but it still feels right to me. And
yeah. And at the end of the day, we decide how to pronounce things for ourselves, and then
exactly.
Everybody can do their own thing. Hey, Derry, good to see you.
Ooh.
Oh, nice. Well, we just started talking about Shards of Honor as our first book, so you are at a good point. We don't talk spoilers quite yet. We might at one point, but we will let you know in case we do. Yeah, I agree. So I think it's one of the more sci-fi books that I've read. Because of the whole planet system and interplanetary traveling, and all the spaceship talk and kind of geeky engineering talk in the middle of things, because I mean, she is an engineer, right? Cool. All right. No problem. And but it's so well done. Like, it's not one of those over sciencey sci-fis. It's very entertaining, very again, fast paced, and I would love to see that adapted as a movie or a TV show. I think that would be so much fun.
100%.
That would be so much fun.
But now I'm going to be thinking about who should play the characters, though.
Oh, I'm terrible at that game.
Yeah, I have no idea. I have absolutely
Keanu Reeves.
no idea.
I don't know. I don't know if that will work. Although I mean, actually, Bokosigan, Keanu Reeves could work.
I used to get both kind of a little bit stoic.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. Who knows? And maybe then in the TV show they're naming it Cornelia to adapt to all my misspoken names. I kept calling her Cornelia, even though it's Cordelia. I don't know names. You know.
Been there. No, it's all good. I've joked about it a bunch, because the biggest thing for me was Wheel of Time, where I read the series so many times, and I never had done audio before, never heard any of these names, never heard I didn't know anybody in person I'd ever spoken to about it.
Yeah.
And I've been reading it since I was young. So finding out how many things in that series that I had read a dozen times by that point that I had no idea how to pronounce, or just completely said wrong, or names that I got wrong.
Yeah.
I was on my third read of the series when I realized that I had been in my head reading the main town, the starting town is Edmondsfield instead of Emmonsfield.
Huh.
And my brain still adds a D often when I think about it. It's instilled. You just, I don't know. I feel like, especially in sci-fi fantasy, you're used to unfamiliar words.
Yeah.
So your brain just kind of goes, this is what it is. And then you move on.
Yeah. And if the author wanted us to pronounce it properly, they would have put a pronunciation guide in their books.
Well, I mean, Jordan did, and I just didn't read it.
Oh, fair. Okay, never mind. Then, dismiss the point that I just made. We just moved to Derry's Buffy comment there. Yes, Buffy in general, and Cordelia in particular. That's a good point. Maybe that's what I should remember Buffy, and then I remember Cordelia. Maybe that's my donkey bridge, as we Germans say, for that reminder. I don't know what the English correct word for that.
You know what? That's a fantastic phrase, and I'm going to take that, and that's going to be another thing that I know, because I cannot wait to use that in a work meeting. To be perfectly
Please record this with the faces of people.
The donkey bridge for this is I'm constantly having to remind people of how to remember complex technological things.
So you know donkey bridge. Yes. Listen, I've started since I started living, because my husband doesn't speak German either, right? Like, all the weird phrases. I mean, English has weird phrases too, like, right? Like these what is it? Colloquialisms. Is that the right word for that? I just never, because I didn't grow up in English, so I don't know them. So I always literally translate the German ones. So there's more where that came from if you need more. But yeah, anyway.
Love it.
Yes, on the pronunciation for the authors, 100%. See, Derry at least agrees with me. We are just ignoring Jordan's pronunciation guide. Right? I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, Shards of
I feel like we're starting off strong with the level of chaos.
Oh,
but yes, Shards of Honor.
I have to say, Cordelia has to be, like, I mean, I love me a good, strong female character in fantasy sci-fi anytime. And Cordelia has to, I think she's becoming more and more, the more I think about it, a favorite of mine, especially because the first two books are about her, right? How everything happens, how she gets together with Bokosigan, and how everything starts, and introducing the world and all that stuff. But I love her so much as a character, like her kind of brusque art and very straightforward, to the point way of talking, of doing things, and not like political settle at all.
Yeah.
and just says what she thinks. And like with her coming from a very liberal world, is that how you can say that? And then moving to a more conservative planet and kind of
Yeah.
rattling, like basically saying like, what are you guys doing? This is complete bogus. I'm doing it my way. If you care or not, I don't care. And her husband is like, oh yeah, go ahead, do what you think is right. We're good. I love
Yeah.
that. Like just all these interactions and what we're seeing throughout the first two books in that sense. It is, and she does it in such a fun, snarky, sometimes sarcastic way that you cannot but just root for her. I mean, I said it at one point in book 2, there was a scene when they had to flee and when they are at the caves, like the kerfuffle at the caves, when she came out of it, like I was just yelling, yes.
Yeah.
And I rarely ever have that. So she's an amazing character. Just for
I
that.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was I just found the character felt so real and just so genuine,
Yeah.
and was such a refreshing character too. And some of the stuff you deal with too, and which like not really a spoiler considering the main character of the series is Miles Vorkosigan, who's not born yet, as of the first two books. But it's we start with his parents, but the in book 2, I felt like some of the bits in the musings about being pregnant and everything too, which is not something you get in
No.
sci-fi fantasy a whole lot. And it was done in Cordelia's very unique voice and very just fun voice. And I still remember there was the line that it had me cracking up, because she's just like trying to figure out what she's supposed to do. And she's like, I guess I'll just stay here gestating, and just like just cracking. And yeah, the kind of the dry humor and everything too is where I would 100% read like a whole series where Cordelia is the main character.
Yeah.
I did like Miles in Warrior's Apprentice when we got to book 3, but I would just read the whole Cordelia series. It was just,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the character in the first 2 books, and that's what really pulled me in. I like a lot of the sci-fi stuff, but Cordelia was just very compelling very early on. And I love the way she handles things and talks and thinks and
Yeah.
analyzes everything like a scientist, even the
Yeah.
things that probably don't need to be analyzed like a scientist. Just
Yeah.
very fun, very really badass character too, for sure.
Yeah. And then I 100% agree with you. It was the character that kept us going. And then it added so much to it. Like because book 1, you get pretty quickly into that love story as well, which at first I was a little bit like, okay, what's happening right now? So is this a romance actually on a sci-fi planet? Like what's happening here? But it's also so well done. Like I love romances where it's about the relationship, right? And not, I mean, it's not a, it's not a romantasy or whatever the sci-fi version of that called, by no means. But I love that relationship aspect and how, because that continues in book 2, right? How well they're getting along and how well they're like working together as a couple too, and solving all the issues. And then the part that completely did it then for me, and I said like, yes, this is at least the first 2 books, including Warrior's Apprentice with some parts of well, is the emotional impact this series has. It's crazy to me how in her kind of fast-paced writing and very cinematic way of going through the story, how deep she went into like human emotions and what the characters went through and their history, because all of these characters, like all, not just Cordelia and Vorkosigan, but also the side characters, they have so much history, so much baggage that they're coming with into the story, and we slowly unveil like what's happening, and just that emotional impact with I'm blanking on the name, the assistant for Vorkosigan that he then signed on into his household, that we learn a lot of in that becomes Miles' bodyguard in book 3.
Yeah, and I keep wanting, my brain is trying to say Lieutenant Kudelka, and that's not right.
No, that he's the other
that's
one.
a different character.
Yeah, but you know who I mean.
Well,
like
yeah.
so impactful, and I'm not someone who tends to get emotional in books, but this book made me cry. Like especially in Warrior's Apprentice, because you had the story up front from Shards of Honor and Baria, however you properly pronounce it, and then you meet that character again in Warrior's Apprentice, and that emotional impact was something I was also not expecting. Because
Oh yeah.
what's the name?
That
Is it a
it
spoiler? I don't
was
know.
oh no, I don't know why I'm 100%. Oh, Sergeant Bothari. Okay.
Yes.
I just was flipping through until I found it. I'm like, I know I'm gonna know it. I don't know why we're both blanking. Really important character, but
Yes.
yeah. Well, and that was too that because that was there were the big thing obviously that happens in the first book, and it's just the way and knowing that book 2 was written a good deal later, I think, because it wasn't written in that order.
Yeah.
But reading it, that's why I think reading the Cordelia books before starting the Miles books, I 100% agree with too, because there's the more impact of it in Warrior's Apprentice 2. I feel like you would not have nearly the impact if you hadn't read Barry R. But it just that moment, it was just like it was so impactful and so heartbreaking, and just it. Yeah, that was not an interaction that I would have expected
Yeah.
or to be handled that well. And that character too, the way
Yeah.
that she writes a character who is like not a good person, has done some terrible things, and is nothing he's done is ever excused. But it's also like you can't help but like empathize a bit or feel pity for him, because it's just like he's had a lot of stuff go wrong for him, and you
Yeah.
know, but it's so hard to write characters like that, and have that balance of, hey, I'm not excusing anything this person has done, but I'm also going to make you somehow, I'm going to force you to empathize with them because that's
Yeah.
how good I am at writing these
Yeah.
relationships between characters. And yeah, not even just the romantic relationship, but the other
In
character
general.
relationships too.
Yeah.
Just so well done.
Yeah. And 100%, Derry, 100%. Like, and that series, you're going to love that series for exactly that reason. And as Nico just said, not just for the romantic relationship in book 1, but for everything, like the friendships, the colleagues, like the work relationships, essentially. And it's like it's that morally grayness, right? Like when you read book 1, it's a little bit. It feels like, okay, there's like, light, a little bit of romance, a little bit of humor, a little bit of snark, and then with book 2 and 3, you're really getting into that moral grayness and into the darker emotional moments, and it's so I don't know like how she even did it, because it's not what you would expect like from a lighthearted series. Like to think dungeon crawler call and all of a sudden you have grimdark dungeon crawler. Like that's a little bit it's an exaggeration, but that's kind of, it started out a lot lighter than it then ended up being with book 2 and 3, and she slowly led you into this darkness.
Yeah. There are definitely, because there are the darker parts that do, like, they come up sometimes kind of suddenly, but also fit really well. But then
Yeah.
I do think, yeah, it does seem like we're going to start into more of that, like not super dark, but that kind of gray baseline. And sometimes
Yeah.
maybe we'll lighten up and get some more of that humor. Sometimes we'll get
Yeah.
darker. But yeah, it is. The way you phrase it too is really interesting, because I hadn't really thought about that as much, I think, but that's so spot on. With it is sort of a like just gray baseline, because like you're presented with the characters early on. It's usually you think of them as like the heroes and the villains, and there are
Yeah.
the quote unquote good and bad guys. But the good guys are more the good guys because they're the main characters and you like them, even though they do bad things too sometimes.
Yeah.
And so it's just it's it's interesting, and it seems like it's going to go a bit more military fantasy in some ways, but then like there are also other books that I think do focus on like other stuff, relationships too. So I don't think we're gonna go like full bore military. It's just
Yeah.
I think this sort of eclectic mix of different
Yeah.
pieces will hopefully continue, and it seems
Yeah.
like it's going to.
I agree. Yeah, Derry, you're going to love it. That yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. It's definitely one every time I mentioned this author, I'd get comments like, yeah, this is probably good, but go read Vorkosigan. Go read Vorkosigan every time. And I'm just like, guys, I'll get to it. Gosh. And then I finally start it and I'm like, yeah, You were all right. I'm so sorry. I didn't immediately do it because I do like her fantasy. I like this much more though. There's just something about it's very
Yeah, I
different
just wanted
style
to
from the
ask.
fantasy
Yeah,
of hers.
yeah.
Um, yeah, because her so I the full length novel I read from her fantasy series is The Curse of Chalion, which is
Hmm.
more like historical fiction feeling with light fantasy elements than
Okay,
anything.
which not a
I've been
bad thing.
reading, yeah, it's very good, but it could not be much more different from Vorkosigan stylistically.
All right.
Um, you get like a little closer with the Penric novellas. There's a whole series of novellas from that character because it has a little bit more of that like dry humor. I mean, the base idea there is Penric is a young boy who accidentally comes into possession of a female demon that in the world you only ever the demons only ever are like they possess only female priestesses, but he comes across one who's dying on the road and doesn't realize, and so the demon has nowhere to go, so it goes into him. So now he has like a 12-sided female demon that he has to deal with in his head, and that's the base plot. And yeah, so the first book especially has a lot of humor, and it's not quite as like witty as Vorkosigan, but so she finds ways to still put that kind of stuff in there for sure, and they're fun. But Vorkosigan is just like so quickly like Shards of Honor, I thought was really good, and Barrier is the one that really sold me on the series. But um, I got into it so quickly with the characters, and even with Warrior's Apprentice, I thought it was going to take me a while to adjust to having it not having Cordelia as the main character, and I just found myself really pulled in there too. So she's got a way of just making it work, and
Yeah,
yeah, I'm definitely prioritizing this series over over the fantasy stuff right now. So
yeah. Which is going to be interesting, as we said, since we have plans already for the rest of the year. So, but yeah, I agree with Warrior's Apprentice. I know, even though it's not part of the Backlist book club, but I love that we continued. Um, I I agree. I was a little bit worried because I loved Cordelia as a character so much, and I was a little bit sad to see her go. I mean, we see her still in the book,
yeah,
not quite as much, but we still see her. But the way Miles is written too, completely different character as mother and father that we got to meet in the first two books, and his intelligence, and I mean, he's also very naive at the same time because he's still very young. Like that mix was so fun to watch, and because he is ending up in a ginormous adventure way out of his league, and just some of the conversation he has, like I was just sitting there and laughing my butt off. It's like, that was so impressive. And yeah, again, it's like this breath of her, right? Like this, you have the humor, the wittiness, the snark, whatever, all that stuff, and then the deep, impactful, emotional things. It's just, yeah. Yeah. And and even though it's military fantasy with book three, it doesn't necessarily read like this. Yes, there's like some tactical stuff going on, and there are definitely moments where they were completely over my head. It's like,
I
sure,
remember you saying that. Yeah.
yeah, sure, continue. All good. But it didn't lessen my excitement for the book. Like it didn't bother
Mm,
me as much as I thought it might. But yeah, no, 100% agree. Just like everything of these books so far has been fantastic. I couldn't name one thing
absolutely.
that I didn't like about it, to be honest.
Yeah, these are that's why it's like it's easy to think of like specific things that I really liked, but that's where like these books are, and I haven't done like individual reviews, but I don't know how I would because it would just be me doing it. Yeah, it's really good.
Yes,
Go read it.
exactly.
Like I don't know. I enjoyed them. I enjoyed them a lot. Um, they just are. It is just such a unique
Yeah,
series,
yeah,
and
100%.
it's just yeah, the way that it's writing too is like there might be like some pieces that remind me of other things, but it just is it's kind of uniquely its own thing and pulling together a lot of elements. But yeah, that's I think a lot of it too that the characters and the dialogue are really good. And there's really good plots too. There's other things happening. The settings are interesting, but
Yeah.
it's definitely even though I'm not primarily a character reader, it's these characters can't help but love them and they definitely are what pulled me in and kept me really, really hooked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm most definitely a character-driven reader, so that's the serious. If you're a character-driven reader, that's the serious to read, I'd say. Yeah.
Oh, I definitely agree.
Yeah. And then also what I thought was interesting, because that is always something, at least it's in the back of my head when reading like older fantasy, is like, how relevant is it still? Oh God, 30 years later, I'm feeling 40 years later, feeling really old right now. Um, how relevant it still is, and how good you can still read it, right? You have every now and then, if you watch like BookTube or read like Dune, I don't know, like older fantasy, especially in the sci-fi world, you sometimes come across like reviews that say like, well, yeah, but you have to remember that it was a different time and nowadays that wouldn't fly anymore. Um, I didn't have that feeling at all with Wokosigan. It felt still very, very relevant, even today.
Which does seem kind of crazy considering, yeah, it is 40 years old. But I feel like it could have easily been written today.
Yeah.
You wouldn't really have to change anything. And it's just that's where, yeah, I mean, she deals with some very, I think, human elements. And I think because it's focusing on the human elements, it just is, you can have some of the tech, but like it's not like the super hard sci-fi where we're really digging into how all of this stuff works.
Mhm.
It's more, here's technology that exists and here's the impact that it is going to have on humans. But I was surprised too. It just does feel like this style, and it's another thing I like because you'll get in plenty of older fantasy. Female characters can often be, and sci-fi too, but female characters can often be such a glaring weak point,
Yes.
usually from male authors. One of the reasons why I like reading female authors. Um, but so, I mean, to go back and be like, hey, this is 40 years old. And it's just like, look, even then, a series, and it's a well loved series too. Like, look, you can do female characters great, and then also have great male characters, and also have interesting plots and
Yeah.
dialogue and settings. And like, and so that's one of the things too that why, another reason why specifically like the female authors from Backlist is just uh, reading older books, I find more often if I'm reading it like, say I'm reading a book from the 80s that's a male author and then 80s the female author. Usually with the male author, I feel like I'm much more likely to kind of have to say like, well, this hasn't aged the best, or like there's this or that. And it's just female authors, I feel like, tend to write female characters better, but they also write male characters well often.
Yeah.
And it's not always true going the other way. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That
it's just
is
Cordelia is badass, great character, and
yeah.
it's just, yeah, there's so many great
Yeah.
things here.
Yeah. Tone of the day, the best authors are simply telling human stories and people don't change. The themes will always work. Yes. And even though,
Yeah.
so there's a little bit of politics in the book, like especially like book 1, I believe, right? When no, is it book 2 when she is on Vorkosigan's planet for the first time because their worlds are so different. I hope you can still hear me and you're just gone. Yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Just making sure. Whatever you need to do. Don't
Oh, I
let
got
me
it.
stop you. I just wanted to make sure that I'm not talking to myself.
No, you're
um,
good.
but yeah, she has some political themes in there too, but even those are not, like, I find, wasted or feel old or anything. So it's yeah, she kept it in a neutral enough tone. I don't know if that's the right way of saying that, that it's still relevant. And I don't know if she did that on purpose. Actually, that would be super interesting to hear from her if she wrote it on purpose in a way where she's like, okay, I don't want to focus on something very specific right now. I want to include some, political elements, but not in a way that it, makes this book
Mm,
ageable in the
yeah.
long run, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, it is. I don't. That's something too that and other authors can and have done it too. But it is always interesting when you read a book that's quite old and you're like, man, it feels like they're writing about climates today or like things that are happening today too. And
Yeah.
I feel like the things that she includes, and like this Darius here, I think is why it's on the mind. But Terry Pratchett with Discworld, he has a lot of that where it doesn't matter how long ago he wrote the book, you can find applicability still because it's just things that you continue to see and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But it's it's definitely because there's some stuff there, and I feel like you could look in there and like, oh, maybe it was talking more about this. But absolutely, you. I figured you'd like that, Derry. Yeah. But I mean, Pratchett's really good at it too. But yeah, it's at no point did any of the stuff feel dated, and it just felt like, again, I think because even with some of the political stuff was focusing on like the impact that it has on a very human level,
Yeah.
and people, and so I think bringing it back to that, definitely works.
Yeah. Female written works from Rebecca is when the author has never known societal freedom now taken for granted and her characters self-limit to those roles. Yeah, fair.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I have definitely read some books that would fall into that category too.
Yep. All right. Oh God, we're 40 minutes in and we're only on book 1. Do we want to move to Tanith Lee, our second book, Book of the Damned? Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Quick one. Yes. Oh, I so wanted to. Yeah, I would agree with that. Even as a young boy, I would agree with that when I read Anne McCaffrey. It was one of those things I remember reading. It's one of the reasons, and I probably should go back one of these days, but I just remember reading even like as a young boy, and just like, I'm just like, some of the stuff in there is that's a totally fair example, but
well, to be fair, this is a theme still in today's fantasy, no matter if male or female. There are still fantasy stories today where the pinnacle of the story is like, I'm a powerful whatever king or queen, which is kind of boring, but that's a different argument.
True. But yeah, so Book of the Damned, which is the first of the books of Paradise, and I joked that had I read the blurb before nominating it to be picked in, I probably would have chosen something different, because there was, and I don't have it anymore, but it was something like a mix of eroticism and this or that and horror, and I'm just like, oh. And Tanith Lee is an author who likes to write eroticism.
Perfect sound to make for this book. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just like, so the only other thing I had read from her, I loved, and it had some weird stuff in it too. But Electric Forest, it was really good, and it was really bold, and I love her actual writing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was kind of like vampiric and very, very chock full of eroticism. Or I mean, I think you just straight up said, like, I feel like I'm reading porn at one point. It just, it was the writing was beautiful, and I read some spoilers of what the next two parts of, because Book of the Damned was split into 3 separate stories. I read some spoilers of what happens, and I'm like, yeah, okay. So I can appreciate what she's doing theme wise, just not for me. And I wanted to enjoy it. I finished the first story, didn't care for it. It was very well written, and I feel terrible because Tanith Lee is just such a talented author, and one I want to try more of. But it's funny because Joanna has read more Tanith Lee and has been loving it, but she'll like read it and she'll tell me how amazing it is and say, I don't think you're gonna like this.
Fair.
And I'm like, I mean, I want to read it, but you're probably right. It's just her some of the stuff in her style is just unfortunately not for me.
Which is interesting, right? Like I love that we have so many different types of authors as part of this list. And this was, first of all, not everything can be as fantastic as Vukosigan. Like we would break under that pressure, I think. So it's okay if there's a dud every now and then. But I agree, like that writing was so different, like even from Black Sun Rising, or definitely from Vukosigan, or even like a lot of other things that I've read. I don't know if I would call it purple in that sense, or flowery, because it's not like that. Like if I think Jenny Wirtz, that's when I think purple prose more. That was more poetic, kind of.
I think it did read almost more like it was verse or something
Yeah,
than yeah. So no, I would definitely agree with that. It was very, very stylized.
yeah.
And
But
just
not
was
in an
yeah.
off-putting way. So I really found it
No.
interesting what she's done. And I mean, I stopped halfway through that first story. That's when I was like, okay, this is not for me. I cannot.
Reasonable.
Um, but I in that first half, not much happened at that point, right? They went back and forth like 2, 3 times and went to a party. Like essentially that's what it is. But the way she wrote this, kind of the atmosphere that she built was really, really interesting. I loved especially that vampire part of it. I found so fascinating, which is why I would have loved to continue, but just that erotic part just did not work for me at all. It threw me off so bad.
Yep.
Um
And there was more. There was much more.
yeah, yeah, that's
Uh,
why I was like,
did
okay,
not enjoy.
yeah, no, that's fine. It's okay. Um,
Yeah.
but I found her writing incredibly fascinating, and I loved the idea of I mean, again, not much happened in that first half that I could see again, other than they went to a party and had like a little bit of conversation and met like obviously the head vampire. I'm not sure, but just the atmosphere that she was building and the way the conversations were working as part of her prose was so fascinating and so different. That I mean, I think I want to try something else by her, but I need to know upfront that it's not going to be another erotica because I know she writes a lot of erotica. Like a lot of her stories are more in that area. So I would have to find one book that doesn't fall into that.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
will say
spicy. That's the thing. Like it's not, think romantasy spicy. That's not it. It's really, really weird.
yeah. Electric Forest, I think there is a little bit of that in that. But that one I would recommend. That was the thing that I first read. And it's much more on the sci-fi side. But it is also weird. Like I don't think she's written anything that's gonna be normal.
Which is
Um
fine. We love weird here.
Yeah, it's very weird, and that's the thing. Again, I pushed through because I really wanted to give it a shot because I loved the writing. It did take me a bit to get used to it, but
Mhm.
it's like very very beautiful and unique style. It's just content wise, and I think partially horror authors like to add a lot of that kind of erotica stuff in my experience. One of the reasons I don't really like to read horror very much because I don't like that kind of thing. Um,
Fair.
but I've come across that more in there, and so I think there definitely have some of those elements. But it very like the gothic kind of
Yeah.
horror and gothic style of writing is very present.
Yeah.
But so it's that one's from '88, and the 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 idea that it's kind of exploring in like the first book, and from what I looked up, the base plots of like what the second two pieces are, all of them are exploring gender and kind of the idea that gender can be fluid and change.
Yeah.
And so I'm like Tanith Lee, this is 1988. Like
That's pretty
that's I feel
progressive.
like
Yeah.
so ahead of your time
Yeah.
with some of that stuff too. Um, and that's where it's again like I can appreciate what she's going for, but it's just not everything works for everybody. I've had other books I've read where I'm like, I get that this is good if you like this kind of thing, and I just don't. You know, and I've had though, I mean, a ton of my favorites. People are like, I think this is so bad. I don't like this at all, too. And so that's where like I get it. You know,
Yeah.
I really wish I really wish I was more into it, and I will absolutely try more from the author. She is a fantastic author.
Yeah.
I just I don't think I'm gonna have to be very choosy to try and find something. Maybe I'll read her kids series. She wrote like a children's series. Um,
You wouldn't have erotica in the kids series. At least that's
I
the
hope
assumption.
not. I mean, I really hope not. But I actually found it was like book two, I think, though. Because it's something like the black unicorn, and I found the gold unicorn,
Okay.
and it is apparently like a young adult, but I think it's a young adult romance is the thing. So I don't know. That still might not be a good pick for me.
You read it first and then you let me know. Okay, Derry, I'll read it and then you know what I'll mean because me too. Like what you're saying here, absolutely subgenre I'm not shying away from and I don't mind at all. I have a lot of fun with that, but that book was something else.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's something to experience, Derry. So I would be fascinated to hear what you think. I think Tanith Lee is worth checking out just to experience the way that she writes in general too. So, and also
Yeah.
Tori.
So, but that's kind of why I think Tanith Lee is interesting. Like, I love it when you find an author that is just so different from quote unquote mainstream that you just, where you're like, this is so weird, but I love it, right? Like, and there are not that many books out there because I don't know. I'm generalizing maybe, but you don't make much money with weird because you don't have a whole lot of reader potentially that would enjoy this, right? Like I read an indie book. What's the author? Luke Tarzian. Luke Tarzian wrote those, and he wrote some also weird, but in a good way, weird, like dark fantasy dealing with depression, and just his writing style was also super weird, but very, very interesting. Also more like on the poetic side. And he even acknowledges on his like Instagram when he does socials, like my sales numbers are not great because my book is not for everyone. It's just what it is. Well, at least you know that. But I loved it because it breaks up kind of your reading experience, and all of a sudden you're in a world where you're like, what is happening here right now? Like, what in the world?
I've never heard of that author.
Yeah.
But I just looked him up and see that he has something called A Cup of Tea at the Mouth of Hell. And I'm like, that description makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Interesting though. I don't know. I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, Tori, I don't know. Interesting is kind of the word we read. Nico described it as earlier.
Yeah, Tori, I don't think Tanith Lee is for you. I don't think she's for me either. I'm gonna keep trying. But I really don't think you're gonna find, because the book I loved, Electric Forest, I also think you would not like because it is very idea based and the characters are extremely flat. And I just don't think you're gonna have anything to latch onto. And like I loved it. A lot of the reason I loved it is that it's just absolutely beautiful writing.
Yeah.
And the way that book is written, as well as the ideas, were very interesting. But I know that you're not like you need more than just beautiful prose, and I usually do too, which is why, Tanith Lee. And I've heard from, because Joanna's read other Tanith Lee and some other things that are in a similar vein, and talked about like Jack Vance, Dying Earth, supposed to be really fascinating ideas, but extremely flat characters. And it's not going to work for everybody, especially if you're more character reader. And even not being a character reader, that's where like I've struggled with the book we did for Backlist Book Club too. So
don't tell me that, Derry. I really want to read Heinlein. Like that's one of my classic sci-fi authors that I still have on my list. He's weird.
So I started that Hills of Green Earth or something like that. It's a short collection, and I only tried like the first one or two, but like very immediately it just kind of felt like dated in a sexist way, and not, and a little bit cheesy also in kind of a dated way. And I'm just like, so I put it down. I might try it again at some point, but so sorry to pile on for the potentially disappointment with Heinlein, but
man, guys,
and it could have just been that story. I don't know, but I said something about it in a video, and someone's like, "Yeah, that sounds like Heinlein." So like, I don't.
No, I mean, to be fair, when I read classic sci-fi like that, I'm like mentally, I'm preparing myself for this was written in a long time ago. There was a very different view, so I'm not getting offended about things, right? But I like his big one is What is the Moon is a Harsh Mistress. That's one, right? And Stranger in the Strangeland. That's the really popular one of his that I definitely at one point want to read. Yes. We haven't picked a month yet because we go month by month and see what we feel like. But happy to let you two know when we're at that one.
I'm excited for it.
Yes. Well, I mean, that's what sci-fi is in general, right? Like they pushed a lot of boundaries back then anyway.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's all you can say to Tanith Lee.
Yes. I think we actually that went way longer than I thought we would on Tanith, to be honest. So
Very, very true, very true. Okay, so that leaves us with one more book. The one that I haven't finished yet. I'm at like 72%. Thoughts?
Tori, have you started yet?
Oh yeah, Tori's reading it in February, right? With Joanna and John?
Potentially. I don't know if John's is doing it or not, but I think
so.
So,
Not Black Sun, but you mean Melanie Ron's book. Yes.
Oh, yeah. I am really excited for it too.
We're starting relative. We will tell you if we get spoilery. So far, I mean, even with Wachosigan, we have been relatively unspoilery and tendedly to So if we get into spoilers, we will warn you, Tori, and give you a minute to drop. But you can stay if you want. I mean, that's totally up to you. I would love to have you, just to be very clear. Please don't go. Oh my God, it's Friday afternoon. I can't talk straight anymore.
Well, I mean, since you haven't finished either, I can't exactly spoil the ending anyway. So,
to be fair, I've listened to your review. I've listened to the spoiler section of the review, and actually, it helped me.
Okay.
I'm past most of what you told in your spoilery section. No, we will not major spoiler anything. No. We will say things like that thing that happens at the very end was very cool. Like that's as far as we go. But it actually helped me. What am I doing? What have I done? Sorry. What? When? Why? What did I say 2 minutes ago?
Maybe kicking Tori out. I don't know.
No, that's why I corrected myself immediately when I said that, if that's what you're referring to, Terry. I'm sorry, Dory. I love you. I should not be on live TV. I need an editor, seriously.
That's what makes it. Oh, watching my review. Okay, that does make sense.
Yeah. So the reason why I did that, just to jump the gun here, the reason why I did that, because I was struggling a little bit in the middle of the book, because it's a journey book and they are walking for a long time. And I love you, Tori. Thank you so much. No, I'm not kicking you out. I would never. Thank you. Because I was struggling a little bit. So I'm in a weird reading situation right now anyway. Like dense sci fantasy might not be the right thing right now for me, but I want to read this book because I like the premise of it. But it's a bit on the slower side, and the middle was very journey. And I was like, oh God, come on, please arrive finally at your destination. Can we just finally be there and have some action again? I'm done with walking around. So I actually listened to it because I wanted to know how much more I need to read to actually get to something, even though Nico did not talk about that at all. But it was just the motivation for me to keep going, kind of like tricking my brain into, does it make sense? I have no idea. It does in my head. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Good. All right. Black Sun Rising is also a weird one, in a good way weird.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually sci-fi, but I mean, it's a fantasy story, but I love the sci-fi glimpses when we get. So it's and I don't think that's spoiler because they're explaining this pretty much at the beginning. It's humans that traveled to another planet years and years ago, like centuries ago kind of thing. And then they started living on that new planet and just adjusted to the world there, to the magical world there. Because now all of a sudden that world has like magical abilities or enables people to have magical abilities, called Fae is what it's called there. And shoot, I lost my train of thought. Nico, please continue.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, it's technologically advanced enough for space travel. Humans go here, yes. And this world has the magical forces they call Fae, and it then slowly is made it so that magic sort of overtakes technology. In a lot of ways, and that's where it is totally a sci-fi premise, but it ends up being more of a fantasy novel. And I won't say anything, even though it's not technically a spoiler, but book 2, the prologue, is a flashback to like well before that actually sets up the prequel novella that I learned was a thing very recently, which I want to read. which tells you about like the actual like sci-fi parts of it. And so you get a little bit more background in book 2 that honestly made it even better for me.
That's
But
good.
it's again not like a spoiler, just you will find out more about that past because they tell you about it very immediately that that's the premise, but you just don't get a ton of details. Um, but yeah, I loved this a lot. I think this is going to be very much in contention for book of the year for me. This early already, although I'm going to be reading a lot of heavy hitters, I think this year, and we have a lot of great other stuff planned.
Oh my
But
goodness, yes.
I,
Yes.
yeah,
Goodness. Ugh. Yes.
I would be surprised if either this or one of the other books in the trilogy don't make my like top 10 books of the year though, because I
Oh.
really loved this, and I'm really enjoying
Oh.
book 2. Um, it just it reminds me a lot of, and I think I said in my review too, it reminds me in some ways a lot of Donaldson and the way that he writes and explores themes, but with a touch of like Janney, because the way C.S. Friedman writes atmosphere and writes sets a scene, like her prose is so good, and it's like you just when you're reading this, you just feel so sucked in, and it's this they're so visual, and some of like the scenes just feel so visceral too.
Yeah.
Um, and
Very
it's but it,
atmospheric. Yes.
yeah, but it also is, not like it's still quite readable, I think, too. Like, it might take you a bit to get into, but that's where, you know, Janney, I love her prose, but it can take some work. And this didn't feel like that at all.
Agreed.
But yeah.
100%. Yes. Yeah. I would agree with that. Yeah. Yeah. I love those moments where you see the sci-fi part. So they're explaining it at the beginning, but then every now and then you get like a glimpse into that sci-fi situation, like when she talks about moon phases and whatnot, and the different moons and whatnot. It's very very fascinating. I love this kind of mix because you're reading and you're like, oh yeah, it's magic. We have like fantastical beasts and that kind of stuff going on, and then all of a sudden you have like this little sci-fi element. It's like, what?
Yeah. Well, and
This is
sometimes it's even like, so there were some small things because a thing that really stuck out to me too, which I don't think I mentioned anywhere else actually, but comes to mind now, is there was a scene where two characters were talking, and one of them had a looking glass or like a telescope kind of thing, and just the other character was just like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing! What is this?" And he just goes into this little thing and says, "Yeah, this is something from our heritage. Can you imagine a world where stuff like this just worked every time and wasn't at the whims of the magical forces of the world?" And it's like
yeah,
that's the heritage we lost. And it was just such a fascinating moment because I feel like sometimes you'll get it's kind of almost the trope in fantasy of like there used to be a technologically advanced world, but now we just have remnants. But you never really explore how that happens.
yeah,
And you get some elements here, and I hope that we continue to get more of that in the next books. Like I said, you at least get more background. But it's so fascinating. Um, the way some of that's done, even though it does feel much more fantasy than sci-fi, but then
yeah,
it's also there's really the sci-fi stuff's there because the premise is 100% sci-fi.
yeah. Yes. Okay, I'm throwing it out there. You two would also like the Benjamin Avon series that I keep raving about, Rainfall, the Rainfall trilogy, because same premise. Yeah, if it's actually sci-fi because it's in the future, something big happened, and then it reads like a fantasy story, but you have these glimpses of sci-fi in there. But that's not what we're talking about. I just, at one point you have to talk about favorites. But yeah, I hope so too. Although I have to say, I'm just looking at book 3. No, the cover doesn't spoil anything either. Like, it doesn't give you more sci-fi thing. Book 3, it still looks very much the same theme. Anyway.
I love all of the covers for this so much. I am going to add this other book to my list here really quick too.
Does it say somewhere who the Michael Whelan? Of course it's Michael Whelan. Why wouldn't it be Michael Whelan?
I was going to say that this is like, and I love him as an artist, but this might be some of my favorite work of his because, man, I just these are some fantastic covers. I just feel like he outdid himself here, and he is an amazing artist. But
yeah,
gosh, I love especially the hard covers where it's zoomed out a little bit more, and you see more of that painting.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm just realizing, so I don't know how well that the camera picks it up, but there's the castle in the background, like that we're in that forest. So there's a scene in the book.
I don't have
You
that.
go into a very horror-like forest, dark, and on the search of a certain character. That is, by the way, I'm loving that character. I find him very, very fascinating. And I think that's the castle here in the background, right? Like his castle in that forest.
So that is
So
so
cool.
cool. Because mine, I have the mass market and it's like zoomed in, and I don't really
Yeah,
have that much.
I see
So
that. Yeah, you're right.
I
That's
like the
cutting off.
detail.
So my reading experience is slower with it, but again, I think it's because my brain is just not fully there for a fantasy where you have to just work a little bit more. I mean, it's not a popcorn read by any means, and it's definitely more on the denser side, but it has like moments where you just go and read and read and read and read, and then as I said earlier, there's like a middle section where you just travel. You just
Yeah.
walk through things and travel. That is I found it a bit boring, to be honest, but then afterwards, like I'm now past that, and I read like the last 20% in the last 2 days, and so I'm at a 72 or 73%. And it is, I mean, now we are getting to a point where it's like, wow, okay, this is really, really good.
Big stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on the prose, what you were saying. Like it's I've read one book of Jenny Wirtz's, like the Curse of the Mistwraith, the first one of her series. It's not like that at all. I mean, it's not your, basic prose. And I don't mean that in a negative way, right? It's not straightforward. It has like a hint of purpley prose in it, especially when she starts describing like the forest and some of the like areas and whatnot, and just gives you that atmosphere, where that horror element comes in a little bit, because a lot of the stuff also plays at night. Like they travel a lot at night. That's where it comes in a little bit, but it's not difficult, if that makes sense. It's very readable, very understandable, very readable. Yeah, the covers are like, honestly, I had no clue what these books were about. I bought them because of the covers forever ago. And when Nico said we have to put that on the list, I was like, yep, I have no idea what it is about, but let's just read it. It looks like it fits. Yeah.
Also,
He did a
cover.
lot. Michael Whelan did. He also did, I believe, a bunch of Magic cards and Magic the Gathering cards, and his art is just incredible. There are just a few of artists that do that classic fantasy style left. There are not too many anymore.
Yeah. And then so the
yes.
Oh,
yes.
the word
yes.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Yeah. There is a lot of subtlety to it as well. And I'll do like the vague version of my big analysis, but there is a lot of intentionality with theme and with the way things are being done. One of the big themes it explores is the idea of vulnerability, both in characters, what vulnerability will make somebody do, what somebody would do to avoid being vulnerable, and like humanity as a whole being on this planet that they can't control. And so there's like that discussion of vulnerability I thought was really well done, but it's for the most part it's very kind of behind the scenes, and you could read this whole thing and not really pick up on any of the themes. And I even had a couple people comment like, "Man, I read this when I was younger and I didn't get any of that, but it makes so much more sense now." And it's just if you don't read for theme too, I think you can enjoy this very much. It's a really good story. It just depends if you're really doing that. But that's where, like, for me, that's one of the things I really loved is I was so fascinated. And it took me a bit to really put it together because I think I was in like chapter 20 something. And I'm just like, I feel like she's used the word vulnerable several times in the first chunk. And so then I started looking for it and I bought the ebook just so that I could search for how many times it's in there. And and do that too. I've definitely done that before as well. Yeah. So it's really interesting. And the other thing I'll say, Tori, this is somewhat for you because I think you're going to struggle with it a little bit. There is a reason for it. There's a female character that's very integral to the story, but the story is only really told through the lens of the male characters, even as it relates to that character. And it's done that way on purpose. And that plays into some of the themes. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Yeah, then it will be fast paced for you. So if you're War and Peace slow, like if your brain is War and Peace slow now, this will be a fast read for you. You need to
Yeah, I
wait.
feel like that anything will feel fast after War and Peace.
Oh my god, I'm still impressed that you're going through that. That is a book that I don't know if I will ever read in my life. Yeah. So, and for
I
me,
may maybe someday.
yeah, you might be crazy enough for that. Exactly. No, no. Um, on top of that vulnerability topic, especially because you just said it's told from two of the, like, we have multiple male main characters, but it's told from two of their perspective, right? The third one is not. We never get his perspective, I don't think.
I don't think so, no.
Very short if we do. So we get it out of the perspective of two out of the three male characters that we're following in that story, and then we have that one female character. And I also liked, kind of in a weird way, that gender theme because of that. Maybe because I didn't pick up on the vulnerability topic till I heard your review, and then I was like, oh, now that you say that, ooh, and I all of a sudden had a completely different view on the book, which was very exciting. But even till then, I liked that, like, that whole theme around gender too, right? You were mentioning with the female character, and it feels like she's been using the word vulnerable a lot, and it you could think that she's being depicted as like that typical female character, but it's actually not the case. And because you have like this whole kind of mindfuck situation of, it's a female author writing male protagonists looking at a female character with that vulnerability theme, is so cool, and it makes this
Yeah.
whole story so interesting, really. And then on top of that, just again, even if you don't care about themes like that, just the magic system is so
So cool.
incredible. Like,
Yeah.
what is going on with that magic system? Like the way they are describing on how they're pulling the Fae in, and again, I don't want to spoil anything, but the way she describes this, how the different characters interact with that Fae in that world, is incredible. It's it's a good book. I didn't die from
Yes.
it, to go on that theme again.
That's true though.
Ah,
But yeah,
yeah.
and book 2 delves in a lot more to like the history and the nature of it. And there's all of these really interesting things. You get more world building lore, and like I'm the world building guy. I eat it up. Um, like it did. The prologue was amazing, and then the first half of the first chapter is one of the main characters writing a letter about what happened last season. Um, and so I'm like, all right, we can. So remember, they were previously from Earth, so they've created something that's not quite a horse, but is their approximation of it, basically.
Yeah.
She'll
So
throw some weird stuff like that at you.
yeah, there's
Yeah,
also unearth. They are saying unearth at one point. It just means like the new, kind of like the new Earth, the new version of Earth, the new version of
yeah,
horses. Kind of. Yep. Yep. That is one thing though in the book. She doesn't explain very much. You kind of just have to go with some of the things. Like eventually you'll like, she'll add more context, but especially the prologue, and then some of the initial chapters were like, huh? You just go with it.
yeah.
And then
She just
it
does kind of
will make
throw you
sense.
in. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And that's where I like that book 2 gives you a little bit more of that lore, because book 1 worked, I think, as being sort of
Yeah.
mysterious, but also there's that the world building part of me is like, I want more, and you get more as you keep going.
Yeah.
And so I'm so like book
Yeah.
2 is not what I expected. It's very good, but I don't know what I expected, but it was not this. But it's so interesting too. And I'm not very far in, but it's been good. But yeah,
So you
there's
have been
just this
throwing
is
everything aside to continue this series, is what you're saying.
well, so I had I finished up everything I was reading, and I started the first Book of the New Sun book. But I am gonna very slowly read little bits of that every night. And just have that be my physical. I might try to immersion read, because I've heard apparently the audio is very good, but I don't it's not the kind of book I want to do audio only on. I know you
For
don't do
the
audio.
the new Sun or book 2?
Book of the New Sun.
Okay.
I started book 2 for this on audio because I don't have a physical or ebook copy at this time, although I'm
Gotcha.
planning to track them down. I did a mix for book 1 though, and I do like the narrator. He also reminds me a little bit of the guy who does all of Donaldson's stuff, which I think also added to the Donaldson comparison for me, which is a really good thing for me, for the record. He's one of my favorite authors, but
Mhm.
she also uses the word Carmine too many times for me to not think about Donaldson, because that's one of his fun words. Um, There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, which isn't like an insane amount of times for a decently long book, but it's more than you would get in most books.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah. It's it's kind of just one of those things. Like I don't know exactly what I expected, but I'm enjoying it. And
But that's
yeah.
good, right? Like with trilogies, I'm always worried about that middle book syndrome situation, which unfortunately happens way too lot. So it's good when a book 2 then surprises you in that way and doesn't end up being that, but actually makes you want to continue the series even more. Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I'll see I'll run into problems soon. My goodness. Yeah, no, I'm excited. Like as I said, right? I'm like 73% in to the book. A lot of things already happened. I will be done this weekend. Like I think I will read later a little bit and then to calm down today and then read the rest tomorrow. And I think I will be done because now we are at the fast-paced ending and everything is happening at once, you know. I'm excited to see where this is going. I've seen a couple of things already, but
what chapter are you on?
hang on.
I think it was chapter 43, I want to say, where it was like, oh, like things really get going. And that is quite late. So that's I don't think you might not be there yet. Yeah,
No, I don't think so. I think I'm still in the 30s. If it would be loading. Are you loading
Okay.
to my latest page? Hang on. I need to grab my Kindle. My phone is not cooperating.
Yeah, that's pretty far in. But
how do they say that without spoilering? No, I can't. I'll tell you later. I don't want to spoil it accidentally.
No, that's okay. Yeah.
36. I'm in the middle of chapter 36.
Okay. So you're I mean not that far off, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for you to finish too. So
yeah. No, there are a lot of good themes. Like it's a different fantasy. It's not, same old. It introduces a lot of new concepts, if you want to say that way. It does a lot of things differently. It takes some things that we all know as fantasy readers, but adds good things to it. It is a fantastic mix of, again, like a little bit of kind of dry humor banter to really dark moments. It has fantastic characters, it has fantastic magic. Even the world, like watching the world pass by as we are walking or riding on the unhorses. There's a lot of good stuff, and then all the little kerfluffles that are happening, and the characters that we're meeting, and the different races that we're meeting, and the more we get from the history, there's just so much good stuff to like sink your teeth into, and it's very well developed overall. I don't know if I'm going that far yet to say best book of the year so far. I'm not sure. I'll see once I hit the ending what it does for me, but it is very good, and I'm incredibly happy that we are reading this. I mean, with all the books that we have on our list, really. But yeah, it's so worth going through that. It's a lot of fun.
This is one of those ones too where I feel like I've loved it more than everybody has enjoyed it, I think, so far. But I think I've loved it a little bit more than anybody else has, and it just hits so many things that I really like. And it's one of those things. I found the writing very engaging. It was very immersive, and the world is interesting, and it just is one of those things. I'm like, I just, man, I can't believe I haven't read this yet, and that's why I love that the whole idea of this.
Yeah.
It's just there are so many books like this, and I mean, I've had
that's where this comes in.
Yeah, and I've had this copy for years, and like that book is one that I've heard of the author, and I had that book. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll read that at some point, but I didn't have a copy of it, so I never thought about it. So that was another one where you added. I'm like, oh yes, I do really want to read that.
Yeah. Well, and she's also someone you're talking about, Chief Farmer's Daughter, right?
Yes.
Yeah. She is also someone who also writes fantasy and sci-fi. I mean, this is one of her fantasies. I believe. Yes. And I'm really curious what she does with the daughter of a humble sheep farmer, and then she runs into adventures. I'm really curious what she does with that, unlikely hero type of trope.
Yeah.
Yeah. but she also writes fantasy, and her fantasy is supposed to be also sci-fi. She also writes a lot of sci-fi. And her sci-fi is supposed to be also amazing. So I really hope I like her too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in worst case, I guess if we don't like the fantasy, we can try the sci-fi at some point. But I have
True.
I'm really looking forward to that one. That's just one that sounds like it's going to be so fun and good, and so I definitely hope so.
Yes, Tori. That's our February
Yeah,
Backlist
that's
book
this
club
month.
pick. That's February.
Yeah.
You're
So
welcome to join us if you want.
I don't know. That might be another one where we end up trying to figure out how to continue. But um,
Oh, that is good to know. I love that.
oh yeah, that is interesting. So
Yeah.
oh, and then is that one of the sci-fi ones? I think.
That's why I was laughing after I said it. This year so far, you'll figure out a way to squeeze it in.
That's where it's just like I don't know. I have been embracing since last year the pile of possibilities and not really setting a TBR, and it has been so freeing, especially because I don't have a TBR I have to throw out to just read all of this stuff that we've been reading. Um, and like the craziest thing is like I haven't even done because I was gonna throw in another Guy Gabriel K book sometime soon with my Guy Gabriel K group. I've been reading so much good stuff that I haven't even like felt like I really need a Guy Gabriel K. Like I always could use one because I also love his stuff. But usually I would be like, I'd go to the group and I'm like, all right, guys, I really need something to knock it out of the park because I haven't been reading enough good stuff lately. Let's do a K book. And I've just been finding so many really, really great books. Yeah,
Yeah, that
that's a
is my problem
problem.
this month.
Yeah.
Like because I haven't been doing like a proper TBR in a while because the same. Like I put a bunch of books and it's like, oh yeah, that's realistic, right? 7, 8 books, I can do that, and then mood reading takes over, or I don't know, something happens, whatever. Everything falls over. So yeah, for me it's 12 books right now that I would really like to get to this month that I already know won't happen because again, 5 of those are big chunker dense fantasy stories. That's going to be yeah, I like that there are certain books that I really need, quote unquote, need to get to, right? Like our Backlist book club pig. Like there are certain books that you want to read in the month, not need in the sense of, oh God, I don't want to, but you want to read them in this month,
Yeah.
and then you leave some space for other things. Absolutely, yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
think so.
I'm trying this. Yeah, January did not work, but I also didn't read as much in January, unfortunately. Well,
Well, we
I
at
did,
least
but
have
I didn't finish them. Sorry, go ahead.
we at least have April will be a short one because we said we were going to do a short one in April. So
Yeah, we have to because April is you are always one of the captains in the
yeah,
Bookish
Battle of the
Drummer
Bands.
read along Battle of the Bands. Thank you. Yes.
Eh?
So yeah. So February is Sheep Farmer's Daughter. March, we'll see. April is Marlon Haushofer's The Wall. I'm really curious about that one. I'm a bit worried that it's going to be too literary. But that has also been one that I'm really, really excited about because I heard a lot of good things about the book in the same vein as there's always another book that is mentioned at the same time. I Who Have Known Men is mentioned at the same time with The Wall by Marlon Haushofer. So those two books I'm very, very curious about. Yeah, so for
I
March we
have
have
to
two.
say, I had never heard of that book when until you brought it up as a possible for Backlist Book Club, and it was. I remember we were picking, I think, between that and The Wall, and I'm like, The Wall it sounded a little bit more interesting. I keep hearing about I Who Have Never Known Man. I keep hearing, and like, I really want to read it now. So we might have to just try and sneak that one in too at some
Yeah,
point
maybe both.
because
I mean, it's short
yeah,
too, and I think it's an anniversary for that one was last year, which is
mm,
why everybody was reading it. I believe it was. I
okay,
have no idea, but I believe it was an anniversary for that book. Yeah. Oh yeah, I never feel forced to any. That's why I was like, "Neat" is a stupid word for that. See, we tell Tori too. Then we'll just.
how short is that?
It is one of the shorter ones. It's like The Wall. It's also a shorter one. Yeah, I think I Who Have Never Known Men because it's a both of those, The Wall and I Who Have Never Known Men. Like, I like the political themes of those. It's always books that I like. I like in general. I like themes like this in books. So I'm really, really curious.
Yeah, that one's really short. So
Yeah,
I'm
we might just
down.
do both in
I need more short
April.
books for my April TBR.
Yeah.
We do have it hasn't been announced yet, but we have the theme and the prompts all done, and I'm really excited for it again, as
So
always. Yeah, it won't be as like a specific category, but I'll definitely be making sure to fit some in um, into it
I
as
mean, you
well. That's where,
could.
yeah, we are strategically picking a short one and now two short ones to do that month. So that's yeah, I think that'll work. But
Compared to the longest one at 901 pages that we have on our list, I'm scared of
that's
that one.
that's gonna have to be a 2-monther, because that
Probably.
one is crazy long.
Yeah. And The Wall feels similar, by the way, Derry. Like The Wall and I Who Have Known Men feel very similar in the way they are telling the story. It's obviously a different story, similar-ish themes, kinda. But yeah, that like usually when I hear someone talk about the one, they usually also talk about the other as something that is very similar. Oh, thanks for checking Elizabeth Moon. Yes, I appreciate it. Nico is in our spreadsheet that we have where we track all of our reads.
You have it open too? Okay.
Yeah,
I
because I
was
wanted to
just
see what else we have on the list. Man, it's so much.
yeah, I know.
So the 901 pages book is Melissa McPhail, Sephiroth's Hand, and I'm copying this out so you.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's the book in the 901 pages. It's an indie
Pat
published book. Is
Patterns of
that right?
Shadow. No, I don't think so.
Is that? Yep.
It's the Patterns of Shadow and Light is the series, but it's not that one's not super old. It's because it's more recent, but it's supposed to be just really, really good, and I've heard so many good things about it. I think that's the newest thing we have on the list, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, The Wall is the oldest, and Sephiroth's Hand is the youngest. Yeah. Me
Yeah, 'cause that's
neither,
from
Derry. Me
2010.
neither, which is why I'm excited we have it on the list. Like, that's what I really loved. Nico and I, so we started with a list. I was like, well, let's just throw every book on there that we wanted to read. We had like, I don't know, 25. I could look like 30 books. And then we
There
had
were
to
a lot.
narrow it down to 12-ish. We ended up with 13. That was fun. Yeah, there are some that I'm really, really excited about. Do you have any rereads on your list? No, right? None of those are rereads for you.
No, and like it was so tempting because there's lots of things that I would have like loved to read you and like read with the group, but we had too many options that I haven't read. It was so hard to narrow.
Yeah.
And I mean, we both had some that we were like really want to do this one, and then we had others that we were like less concerned about. But I mean, there are so many more. We easily could do all of next year and still have plenty left too.
Yeah.
And I mean, we added some after as well, and so
Yeah.
it's there was just so many books, to get to. So yeah, I'm excited. But
that might be a summer book. We'll see if we make it over 2 months. We'll see where we are after April. Yeah. I mean, thanks to you, I'm a big Kate Elliott fan now, so I'm definitely excited for Yaran or Jaran, or again, however you pronounce the book properly. But her, it's kind of a sci-fi, right? Like, was that the sci-fi one?
Yeah. So, and Jaran, I think is right. It's either that either is right or that's just how I remember it, like we talked about earlier. So I'm pretty sure she said it on one of our lives out loud. But granted, the funny thing about the pronunciations, because I died laughing at this, she commented when she was picking a narrator for Crown of Stars, she specifically told the narrator to pronounce the names correctly because she never did herself. The only names that she used, she's like, please pronounce these French names correctly because she would get them wrong. And so I thought that was hilarious that the author is like telling the narrator to do it right. So
please tell me how to do it right, and then I can just reference you all the time. Yes.
Yeah.
I agree, Derry.
But yeah, Jaran, I've read the first chapter of that one too, because I've sampled a lot of these over time. And like I had done the first chapter of Black Sun Rising before. And So I kind of had some idea, but that one is it's a big sci-fi and uh, opens up with like this woman who has to travel long distance because she's abandoned on an alien planet due to some shenanigans. So it seemed really interesting. And I
Yeah.
think that's one from talking to Kate Elliott. It deals a lot with like the role of women in some of these types of things. And so yeah, I'm so excited for that one too. It's been one I've wanted to get to for a long time, but I joked with her, I'm like, she keeps publishing new books, which makes it hard for me to get to her old books because then I
Yeah.
want to read her new stuff. Um, so yeah,
Very true.
I'm very excited for that one too.
Is
And
that
that's
the
where like,
one
yeah, we
that
had
she is that sorry, is that the one that she said is Alexander the Great but reverse gender?
no, that one is Unconquerable Sun.
Gotcha.
Um, which was not super high on my list and is so much higher after talking to her multiple times because she has me so excited to read that one
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. After
That
you
one's quite
interview
long though.
Yeah, after you interview with her, because you talked about all the books, like the interview I had with her was specifically about the Witch Roads, but because you guys talked about everything, I was like, okay, writing down, writing down. Oh God, I have to read all of it now.
I
Great.
know. She has published so much stuff.
Yeah,
Um and like I really enjoyed what I've read from her too in very different styles. And so I am that's where I'm so excited to get to so many things. But
yeah,
oh gosh, Derry, yeah, you hit that right on the head with that one. Um, I there were like I I mean, I've always been a reader, and before I got into like the booktube community, I had only scratched the surface of like I'd watch a few reviews online, and so it introduced me to a few books. But after like really being in booktube, it's just never ending, and
yeah,
I keep finding more, and it's a blessing and a curse
yeah,
because um, I do like sometimes just randomly finding things, and there's still I've had series that I've ended up loving that were random pickups as well, including Crown of Stars and actually Thomas Covenant. Randomly picked that up, had no idea what it was when I first read that. So like I found some things that I've ended up really enjoying, but also it's great like being able to find all of these things where other people know what I like and I'm like, oh, you would definitely like this. And so
yeah,
bad for the TBR though.
yeah.
Very, very
Well,
bad for the TBR.
I mean, to that point, right? That's why uh I've started this whole okay, I'm really mindful this year about what I'm adding to my library. And I started actually sitting down. It's like, okay, I counted every book that I have and looked at of the books that I have on my shelves, how many have I read and how many are unread? The number is way too high. So this is my goal this year, right? And
Yeah.
YouTube, it's YouTube's fault. I mean, not again, not in a bad way. I'm the one who bought the books and swiped the credit card at the end of the day. But it is so easy to just watch, especially if you like the booktubers that you're following. It's like, yes, they have a similar taste, or they say something that just triggers you in that moment. It's like, okay, bye, thank you, purchased. And it's so easy to do that. So yeah, definitely being more mindful this year. Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, no, no, no.
I'm thankful that I'm too cheap to do any of the subscription ones. Because I'm always like, I'll see one every now and then I'm tempted, but I'm like, I don't want to spend the money, and I feel like
Yeah,
I'm not gonna like half the stuff I end up getting.
yeah.
And so I've been able to talk myself out of those, thankfully, pretty easily because yeah, that would be bad.
I'm just ignoring them.
I've
I
been
unfollowed all of them on social media, so I just don't see it anymore.
smart, smart. Oh man.
Tori, how are you doing? Sorry, because Tori and I have a little accountability group for this year. Tori, how are you
Hmm.
doing? Sorry for putting you on the spot right now.
I've been
Yes.
not tracking mine the best, but I've been trying to do the same kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So that's the thing, right? You want to then buy the book because you want to talk with that person that just gushed about the book that they gushed about, so you can gush together. Urgh. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, same. I stopped at 1.2 exactly for the same reason. I just didn't love enough of the books and I ended up selling them, which was kind of stupid, but why am I buying them in the first place? Yeah. Nice. That is amazing. Congrats, Tori. That is
I
fantastic.
am I did really good last year for the most part. I've not done very good this year. Um, So, granted, like my stack of Orkozigan books is probably like a third of what I've bought. No regrets there.
No.
But I've been much worse to start this year.
The
I've
good
had
thing,
been
though,
for a
is
while.
with Kozikin, we will keep pushing forward. So eventually, in the near future,
Yeah.
you're going to read them. It's not one of those books where, like, ooh, we'll see when I get to it.
Yeah, it's still buying stuff I'm actively working
Yeah.
on. So I
Yeah.
feel like that counts. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. The Backlist Book Club has been really great for finally getting to some stuff that I've had for a
Yes.
long time. So I mean that's also been huge. And I've been the whole pile of possibilities things. I've been grabbing stuff and including a lot of random stuff that I just want to try.
Yeah.
So that's been good for that too
Yeah.
as well, which is getting some
Agreed.
stuff. But
Mindfulness. We love it.
yeah.
All right. So, which book are you the most excited about that we have on the list? Since I still see you're still in the list, which of the remaining nine books? Yeah, we have 9 out of our initial 13 left. Which one are you most excited about?
Oh gosh, that is hard. Um, hmm. I think I am of course excited for Drawn for Kate Elliott. I am also very excited for Dragon Prince, which we mentioned, and I'm not even just saying this because it's all the ones we mentioned. And Sheep Farmer's Daughter actually is up there. So I'm trying to look at the rest of them outside of that.
While
Um,
you're looking, yes, I have. I've gotten Wokosigan originally from the library, Tanith, and even Black Sun Rising because I only have that hardcover version that is a bit brittle and smells funny. So I got myself the ebook from the library to read it.
yeah. So I think out of like other than that, I don't know how I'm going to feel about it, but I am very curious to try J.V. Jones. So the Baker's Boy and Sephiel's Hand, I think as well is that one's going to be a big haul. But that's just one of those books that for a book that's only 16ish years old. I feel like it gets talked about as one of those just like really phenomenal series that you have to get to that just nobody talks about and yet you keep hearing about. So I'm excited there. Granted, I have several of these other ones physically as well, so including Kesrith and Daggerspell and the Innocent Mage. So anything I get to count off of my unread books list is also good for physical
Yes,
too.
yes. I'm very excited for you to read Trudy Kenneman. I'm very, very curious how you're going
Oh
to like
yeah.
her because it's going to be a hit or miss, I think. And I'm saying that knowing that I've read her book like 20 years ago. So it has been a while. So I'm on one side curious to see how I'm still going on with her. But she is again, having read her 20 years ago, a favorite author of mine. So I'm really, really curious to see, especially we read Priestess of the White, like the Age of the Five series. That I'm really curious to see what your thoughts are on that. Thanks for stopping by, Tori. See you later. Oh,
That's right. I was gonna say I feel like saying only 16 years old sounds kind of weird, but considering that's the newest book on this list, I mean, we go back because yeah, the wall is 60s, but
yeah,
like we have a CJ Cherry book from the 70s, we have multiple 80s and 90s, and so I
yeah.
mean that's only 16 years is it's not that old for this especially, but
Yeah. Oh, let me see.
yeah.
See, that's what I want. Book of the Damned is from the 90s. Shards of Honor from the 80s. Black Sun Rising from the 90s. Yeah. Okay. They are all pretty much close to the same timeline, and they also don't feel like old or anything. So
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense. That's something that I'm curious once we are done with all of them, how many of those actually felt like old written, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God. Don't say stuff like that, Derry. This is oh God.
Oh man. So what
Oh.
about you? What are you most excited for? And or do you want to pick next month's book live?
Do I want to what? Sorry, say that
Do
again.
you want to I asked like which ones you're most excited for and do you want to pick next month's book live?
Oh, do we want to pick March's book already to give people a bit more time this time and not just 3 days?
We were distracted, okay?
Oh,
It's okay.
well, yeah, January was don't get me started. Man, Yeah.
I mean, we
Well,
have
yeah,
plenty of that.
we have a couple. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. We had a lot
Well,
of sci-fi, so I think I want to get away a little bit from sci-fi. Even though the Black Sun Rising has a very fantasy feel, it's still sci-fi. Or Cozigan was sci-fi. I don't know what Tenet Lee was. I have no idea. I don't know.
something else.
Yeah, I mean, we put it under sci-fi / fantasy. It has both in the genre in our list.
It is true. It is true.
Um,
Well, and knowing that we're gonna do sci-fi in April too, or
yeah, so we should pick one of the
fiction and
fantasy
stuff,
ones, right?
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I totally up to you because I feel like you kind of let me pick or suggest some for the first few, so that's where totally I feel like you absolutely get to pick
Well,
this one.
I thank you. I appreciate that. I picked Sheep Farmer's Daughter just now, so I mean, we're good. We're switching things around.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for all
mm,
of them though, so that's where it's like I'm cool with what.
Derry, question for you: the Dragon Prince, Melanie Ron's Dragon Prince. How fast paced is that book? Is that a slow paced book, or is that a medium or on the faster side? Because I feel like I need something that is not super dense and slow too. Kind of. I know Trudy Canavan is on the faster side. Karen Miller is also, I think, more on the medium to slow paced side. Which one have I read by her? I have read the other duology, I think, by her. I mean, Kate Elliott would be fantastic too. Oh man, this is difficult. There was a reason why I had you decide, because I clearly cannot decide.
Well, that's my ulterior motive for making you pick, so I don't have to.
Medium pace, lot happening, accessible writing, because it is 560 pages in March. Do we just want to get to Dragon Prince in March?
I'm down. I might have packed that, but it's probably nearby.
You say you have it physical. Yeah. I'm sure the library has it too.
Nope, it's right there. I see it.
That's a sign. That's the sign. He's getting it. I don't know where it is on my shelf. I have it somewhere. Derry, would you read it with us again in March? If we pick Dragon Prince in March, would you read it with us? Look at that. Focusing. We just talked about that is also a Whelan cover, right?
Yeah. And it does give romance vibes, but it is also so cool. Yeah, them and like the dragons in the background.
Yeah. But that's why I'm exciting. That's why I'm kind of excited for it, because it's 80s and I want to see how romance was done back then and how romancy it actually is versus how. Okay, so is that a yes? You would read it with us in March? Is that a yes?
Yeah.
Because then we'll pick Dragon Prince for March.
I wanted to read this for so long. That's where I feel like we've both been in similar boats where I think there are a few of these books that were like, oh, I didn't know about that, or you didn't know about that, and that still I'm excited to read those too. But so many of these are just books where like, oh yeah, both of us were like, yeah, I really have wanted to read that forever. So I'm excited to read all of them.
Yes. So. Okay. That's it. That's the decision. Right. We're reading Melanie Ron, Dragon Prince in March. Alrighty. So now I want it to be March already. Can we not? This year has been flying so fast. Or I can't. It was just Christmas yesterday. What is going on here?
It does feel like things have been going kind of quick, but I'm excited for February. So let's not.
Yeah.
I'll definitely bully Andrew into trying to get him to read it too,
it's already a week into February.
I know.
What the effing hell? All right. I have potentially another friend who might want to read that with us, because I think she wanted to get to that or has read it and might reread it again. I don't know anymore. I'll ping her and see. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Then we are already good till April. My goodness. We have decisions made till April.
I like it. And then we've got
I wish.
Yeah. Oh man.
I wish.
We've got we don't have a lot of short ones left, so we'll have to be strategic about when we pick our short one when we do our 2-month one.
Well, we need another short one for October. October is the Stephen King readathon?
Oh, so that'll We'll save our CJ's Cherry book for that one
Yeah.
because that's
Yeah.
the only other short one.
Yeah.
So
So that would be fantastic. Cool. And then yeah, the rest is the good thing is though that I mean Black Sun, I think that's a me thing why it is taking me so long. I think even a lot of fantasy is or I'm 1, 2, 3. I'm hoping that not all of them are big, dense books, but that some of them are just, even though they have like 500-600 pages, that they're still fast reads. Again, I know Trudy Cannon and Karen Miller tend to be, again, 20 years ago knowledge, but tend to be on the bit faster side read. And then if Melanie Ron, if there's romance in it, romance tends to be a little bit on the, fantasy relevant faster side. I mean, Jerry said medium, so Baker's Boy has the feeling of being a bit denser and slower. We'll see.
I've read the first chapter of both of those books, but it's been a long time, and so I don't 100% remember. Baker's Boy starts off very controversially,
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah, you'll find out.
Okay.
But I'm very curious. She is J.V. Jones is known for being quite dark, and so we'll see there. But that's
I
another
mean, I
one.
don't mind
I'm so
dark.
curious.
I read grimdark fantasy,
I
so
was gonna
we'll
say
see.
you read some. I think you'll be just fine. But
Yeah.
you'll see immediately, like, oh yeah, I get why this is controversial.
What I found fascinating about Baker's Boy, the only way you can get it is mass market paperback. Doesn't exist as an ebook, doesn't exist as an audiobook or
Oh
anything. I
really?
did not get it in any other. I mean, maybe that's changed, but when we started with this, the only place I got it was as Mars Market paperback, which I thought was interesting because it's not that old. Yeah, paperback. Still not anything else. Mass market paperback.
I
Used.
think I
You can't even
have.
buy it new anymore.
Yeah, because I originally got the first two books in that series in horrible condition, like falling apart at a garage sale. Not even kidding. Is where I picked them up, and I've had them for, I mean, gosh, probably almost 15 years. And
Well,
then
it's
I ended
time
up,
that we read it.
yeah. Well, I upgraded to a slightly less terrible condition mass market paperback, but I found a tall paperback of book 2, I think, at some point.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
um, but yeah, no, because I think that's over here. Most of these are in a stack.
Yeah. Derry, you can read Sheep Farmer's Daughter in February with us. That gets you through February, right? Right? Maybe. We'll see. You can join us. You are already on Ender's
Make it
Discord
happen.
anyway, right? So you can we have channels in the Discord if you want to join us there. I think you know that, right? You were already in the Backlist Book Club channels.
It's missing a piece on the back.
Oh. Oh
But
no.
there's Baker's Boy.
Yeah.
Not terrible. The other one
I
was
mean, we've
much
seen
worse.
worse. Yeah.
Yeah. But then we have this is the CJ Cherry one, which is
Ooh, with
very
yellow edges.
very yellow.
Very cool.
Yeah, I mean, you pay money for that nowadays, whereas if you just get an old enough book in bad condition, you get it for free. So
Yeah.
this is a Dagger Spell, the Catherine Kerr. That's an interesting cover too.
Oh.
But yeah, I found these two at the same store, along with the Roberson book that I read and some like other older stuff too. Side note, I'm glad we didn't pick that one for Backlist Book Club because it was fine, but it was not nearly as good as anything else we've done so far.
Even including Tanith.
Well, okay, I wouldn't go. I mean, Tanith was better than it, but I probably enjoyed the Roberson book more because I struggled.
Hey.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm still reading Black Sun Rising too. I'm like 73% in it, something like that. Okay, I will check the interview later. I didn't know there was an interview with C.S. Friedman out there.
I'm gonna have to look that up, but that also then brings up the question of how long ago was that, and would she agree to be on my channel? Because I might have to ask if so.
I would absolutely do that. So, okay, here's the question. Library and mass market paperback in my head doesn't function because a mass market paperback falls apart after one read. So how does a mass market paperback survive in a library? I love these yellow edges. I find them very, very fascinating. That's a very, I don't know if that is like a like Canada, US, Australia type of thing. It's definitely not a Germany thing. Mass market paperbacks are not a German thing
Well,
anyway.
so it's like I think it's because of like the acid in the paper or something. Like it's not supposed to be that way. It's just because it's old and
Oh, I
degraded.
thought they were meant to be that yellow.
No, yeah, no. That just means it's
Interesting.
old and like has not been maintained. I think it's something like that. Somebody explained it to me at some point
All
why
right.
it happens. But, that is not intentional. So
See, here I was sitting. You completely burst my bubble just now. Great. That's like Santa not being real all over again. I thought that was meant to be like the initial, colored edges. What everybody pays big money for.
yeah, no, not quite, but all right.
Okay, well then I'm excited for what we are in for that one. Ay, 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 ay.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I mean then. It's something. Um it's something.
Okay,
But
now I will read the first chapter because now I want to know kind of.
you might as well.
Yeah.
So I just looked it up. I'm now subscribed to that channel, and I'm 100%. I was actually going to. She sometimes I found out sells signed copies of her books when she can find sets of them, which is very difficult these days, as I found out firsthand. But so I was debating on reaching out to her anyway, but now I'm going to be like, hey, you wanna? I need to revive my interview show. It's been a little too long.
Yes.
Um, it's just with the holidays and everything, I got really busy, but I haven't had anybody since November, which was Kate Elliott. But yeah, I have a bunch of people that I want to get on there. And she is most certainly on the list now. So
Dearie, that is hilarious. Do the spines become tattered pieces of gray paper? Yes. Do the books expand into triangular shapes if not squashed flat? Also yes. See, that's why,
oh man.
big fluffy paperback doesn't fall into dust. Yeah, I can
I
imagine. Oh man.
I will say, as an aside, I have grown. I've realized that maybe I don't hate mass market paperbacks as much as I thought I did. I think the reason that I grew to hate mass market paperbacks is because I read Malazan in mass market paperback, and it was horrible. And you couldn't physically do it without destroying the books. And I tried so hard not to. And they kept getting smaller and harder to read. And I hated it so much, which is why I now have the big guys, which took forever to track down. But that made me hate mass market paperbacks. I used to not have a problem with them. And I thought back, I'm like, that's when it happened. You try
Mm-hmm.
to read Toll the Hounds in mass market paperback, you're going to have a bad time. So
Yeah, no. Um,
yeah, I'm so it seems like they're going to be very hard to find. Um, I'm kind of down for whatever. I at least want something other than mass market, but I definitely would love hardcovers because I loved this book so much, and I've started book 2, and it's also very good. It's just this is a series that I'm going to want to get collector copies of. So
yeah.
for sure.
It would say first printing, right? It would say that it's a first edition. How do you know if it's a first edition?
So usually, like if you have the numbers and it has 1 through 10 on it, anything that's missing.
So this is not a
Yeah.
first edition, right?
Oh no, it says first printing, I think. Yeah, that's a first.
But it has
It
only
looks
till
like.
9, not till 10.
But it's not missing the 1. They drop the numbers
Oh,
over time. So
well,
like this one only has 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 because it's like a 5th printing or a 4th printing or something.
gotcha. I always
this
struggle
is-
with.
It's the original printing. Oh, this is the first time Daw printed it. So this is from 78, and it's like the 5th time this book was printed. So
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so this one, what I have is the first edition of book 2. You might have to talk then, Zach. Because I'm not too like I'm not someone that needs to have a first edition, but if you want a first edition, I'm happy to trade against another hardcover. Yeah, I have book 1. So I have book 1, which is the book club edition. So I definitely know this is not a book club edition. There.
I'm just hoping. I'm hoping I get lucky and find him. I'm kicking myself. I
I kept
did one
saying Zek. I'm
time.
sorry, Zeki.
Uh,
I'm sorry. I'm making up names for you. I hope. If your name is that good, but if
oh,
not, I apologize.
I. I hope it is Zach because I have always referred to you as Zach. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong too. So, um,
Okay, good.
for a moment, I'm just like, wait a minute. I was pretty sure that was your name, but you had me doubting everything.
Listen, sometimes I make shit up, so that's why I'm like, oh, is this real or is this one of those made up ones? Yeah, you were in Nico's Discord too, right? I'm not blanking on that, Zach. You're in Nico's Discord too, so just
Yeah,
ping me
and he's
there.
okay. Oh man.
It's late Friday. Come on, people.
Yeah, I was gonna
It's
say
all
it's getting late. It's the end of the week. That's where everyone like, wait a minute, have I been calling?
Man. Okay,
uh,
so yeah, ping me on Discord. If you want that first edition, I'm more than happy to trade against an equally good-looking hardcover from whatever edition. I just want to have the big, not the book club edition. I'd like to have a normal sized, and then we'll figure something out if that's what you want. I will even protect the cover till then because I don't have a protection shield around it yet. I can do that later, just in case.
see, now I'm feeling like I should try to finagle a trade for Vorkosigan books for Goldfire books.
Oh, that might be a. You let me know. If you don't, I might take Nico up on the. I take Wakosigan in exchange for that. We'll
They
see.
are all different sizes, unfortunately, but I've gotten
Wakosigan, I don't think you will ever get the entire series, even in the same cover. Like that, ignore sizes. I think Wakosigan is going to be too difficult unless
yeah.
you take the ugly new covers. I don't think you'll ever get them all in the same cover. So that is not true, Derry. There are two different Mars Market paperback sizes. There's this weird long stretched one, which is what is that bogus? Like you can't even open that thing at all.
Yep. So
and then
dumb.
the old size, the regular size. Total bogus.
Even mass markets aren't immune to the stupid different sizes of books. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
That's why shelf organization is so hard because you have so many weird shapes.
Yeah, that's why I'm loving my Kindle so much because shapes don't matter with Kindle.
This is true. This is true.
Or ebook in general, I guess. Although they look pretty on the shelf. That's the problem. Books look too pretty on the shelves.
They do. They really do.
Yeah. All right. February, Sheep Farmer's Daughter. March, we just picked Dragon Prince by Melanie Ron. April, Marlon Haushofer, The Wall, which is also our only standalone in that whole thing. Everything else is a series.
Why did we do that to ourselves? You were absolutely right. That was a bad idea.
We'll learn, and then if we continue next year, we'll do better. I guess maybe
at
not,
least some standalone. I'm curious. I'm looking at the list. And I think almost all of the stuff we have in here is series. But granted, it kind of makes sense.
It's what it is. We're reading fantasy. Like we're not reading. I don't know what genre does not have all this. Romance has a lot of series too. Mystery also has a lot of series. So I don't know.
we could always do the Golden Key. That's a standalone, but it's also like 900 pages and gigantic.
Yeah, I don't know. 900 pages might as well be a trilogy,
This is true.
Okay, we have Ursula K. Le Guin, The Ones Who Leave Omelas or something. Well, that's a 32 pages short story. Okay, so that doesn't count. Yeah, I Who Have Never Known Men is the other standalone. The Wall. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, a lot of series.
Yeah, I think Barbara Hamley also has some standalones. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Barbara Hamley is a special guest at the WorldCon in Los Angeles end of August.
Oh.
I'm going to meet her because I'm going to be there. And I will get my old German paperbacks signed by her. I'm very excited for that. I love her shoot, what's the series called? The one with the dragon. 4 books. people only read the first one because they hate book 2 till 4.
I know Dragon's Bane is the first book.
Yes,
I can't remember.
yes, that one. We have not picked Jaran yet. Yaran. We have not picked that one yet. We are only till April so far, which is a lot for us because usually it's like a week before the month starts.
This is
when
true.
we pick the book. Like one of us, we should probably.
We will definitely let you know though, because we are both very excited for that too. That's why it's been so hard to pick. We're excited about pretty much everything on the list, and so it's so hard to know what to do. Next.
That's why it was nice. I think the first book was a vote, right? We had like 3 books and people were voting for us. The second book was Heidi's pick, I believe, right? Heidi was saying she would love to read Tanith Lee, so we just picked that one.
I think so.
Yeah.
And
Black
then
Sun was yours.
I say somebody else mentioned being really excited for Black Sun, and I'm like, I'm cool with that too. So
fair.
Yeah.
And then Derry picked Dragon Prince. I love Dragon's Bane. That was, again, it has been years since I read it, but I ate that series up. I binged them all 4 and I loved it. It was so good.
I need to continue. I also very much enjoyed the first book. And just kind of its different look at some of those things. So I think I have at least the next 2 books. So I do very much need to continue. I really like the first one, and I didn't plan to stop there. I know I have heard a lot of people treat it as a standalone, even though it's not. But
I mean, I unfortunately I don't remember anymore if I like Dragon's Bane best out of the 4, but that's the general consensus. Everybody's saying like by far book 1 is the best, and then it goes downhill from there. But I read all 4 and I loved all 4. Again, I couldn't tell you anymore what it was about other than something with dragons.
Maybe
I know there was a cave somewhere. That's it.
There definitely was a cave.
Yeah. Well, dragons need a cave, right? That functions like that. I don't know. But I remember really, really enjoying it and actually binging it. Like that was one of those series where I read all 4 one after another. And I still have the German covers. Like that's one of the very, very few books that I brought with me from Germany. That quartet is one of them. Yep.
I for one more random thought, and Tori knows about this. She's not here anymore, but after reading Carol Berg, the Song of the Beast, I randomly was looking at different editions because I was trying to see if there's like a hardcover edition that you can get, and there's really not. And I found out there is this random Russian cover where the book came out in hardcover with this really cool cover, and I want it, and I can't find any way to get it. So I'm hoping that someday somebody in Russia will like watch a video and be like, "Oh yeah, I have a copy of this. I can send it to you." Because it'll cost, I'm sure, like $50 to ship it, even if it's a small book. But
well, I don't know if shipping is as expensive from other countries into the US. I don't know.
I guess I don't know.
I know it's expensive to ship out of the US. Crazy expensive.
Yeah. I one time I got a box of books from Janny Words that she sent me some copies of one of her books and to just like send out and give away and whatnot. And from Florida to Iowa, shipping the whole box, it was cheaper than me shipping it like just a state up to Canada, which was like a third of the distance in miles, like a third of the distance, and it cost like 3 times more to ship it. And I was just like, it was so bad. I felt bad. I ended up paying for most of the shipping because the person was supposed to pay for shipping, and I'm like, after I found out how much it was, I'm like, this was supposed to be a free book. I can't charge you all that shipping when it's supposed to be a free book. So
yes, 100%. I just Googled this. What? They are amazing.
Okay, I'm gonna have to also Google because I've never
What
seen
is
these.
going on? Me neither. Oh, I've heard that name before. Those are amazing. Screw the broken binding edition. I want the French ones now.
I don't like broken binding anyway.
No, I'm not getting into that. I'll tell you that at a different time. That's wow.
Okay,
those are gorgeous.
Those are very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to continue with Malazan too. I finished book 5. I mean, I'm reading the German versions, so I finished book 9 in the German versions late last year. Early this year? No, last year still. I want to 5 more books, and then I'm done with that series. Slow going.
I still need to. I've been telling myself for years I need to reread the series. I think I will like it a lot more this time, because it is. I've never had such a terrible time reading a series before. I hated about 50% of my reading experience with it, and it took me a year reading nothing else to get through it. And
You will
good
need
luck.
that deep breath. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been
But
at it for 3 years now because it's just whatever I feel like I want to do next. I'm not forcing my way through this.
that's the way I forced my way, and that harmed my experience. But also at the same time, like I can remember like viscerally how much I hated reading it at times. But then also it's been well over a decade at this point, and I remember so many scenes like I read them yesterday. They
Yeah.
have just stuck with me, and you accomplished that. You clearly know what like there are just so many things in it, and book 2 is still has one of my favorite all-time plot lines, and I remember so many parts of it. But there's so many amazing things, and in retrospect, after finishing the whole thing, I appreciate the heck out of it. Um, but it just, yeah, I did not have a good time with it. Granted, I was also younger when I read it and had not read nearly as much of the stuff that I have
Yeah.
now. And so that's why I really think reading it now, I'd appreciate it a lot more than I did like late teens, early 20s.
Yeah, it's
Um,
also it's very much a grown-up fantasy where you need to have some experience, not just from a fantasy reading perspective, but I think just life, and helps a lot with all the the relationship things again in the very broad meaning of that word, to appreciate a lot of the things. I agree. Like I couldn't tell you exactly what it is about. Okay, what is I'm stupid right now. What's that abbreviation standing for?
Wars of Light and Shadow.
Thank you. Yes. Jenny words. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's just brutal. Alternating Malazan and Wars of Light and Shadow. That is a brutal schedule. Oh my
You don't
gosh.
read anything else. Like, I mean, those are 2 dense
I
series.
I can't imagine. That's yeah. That's where like whenever I try to caveat because I feel like the hardcore Malazan fans will like sometimes like gang up on people who say they don't like it.
Yeah.
And I was trying to say like, hey, I legitimately I remember so many parts of it very, very vividly, and I appreciated it a lot when I finished it, but I had a
Yeah.
horrible time reading it. So I always tell people, if you're not enjoying it, that's okay.
Yep.
And
Don't
if it's not
force
for you, that's
yourself.
totally okay.
Yeah. And
Um,
take your time.
but yeah,
Like,
if you find enough to enjoy and you don't force yourself through, I think you're gonna have a way better time though.
yeah.
Because that was part of my problem. I forced myself through. I didn't take breaks. Um, and so it just was I made it way worse on myself. But
Yeah.
despite that, that's like I still like I'm like, man, God, that was so good when this happened or that. I'm like, it's it's just yeah, I remember so many parts of it like I read it yesterday, small detail things like that. So
Yeah.
it's obviously stuck with me really, really
Yeah.
great.
That's really one thing that I like about this series. So far, again, halfway through, I'm very, very curious where this is going to go and what the ending is. I think it's going to be one of the most epic things that I will ever read in my life, because there's so much stuff pointing into certain directions where I'm like, oh my God, I just want to know what happens and how that all resolves. But that's something that I really appreciate about the series, which I didn't think is a thing because there's so much happening, right? It's all these characters, all these plot lines, all those things with over various timelines. Like nothing, it doesn't happen all one after another. Like you're jumping around in the timelines. Like just if you look at it like at a high level like that, you're like, no, you have to read it really fast after another so you don't forget things, but you really don't. Like I had a
No.
year between book 4 and 5, and it was fine. I had zero issues. I remembered like when they brought up some of the characters from the earlier books, I was like, oh yeah, I remember who that was. I couldn't give you the exact detail and history of that character, but I knew enough that I could put him into a certain place, and have that association there, which is I find very, very fascinating given what is going on in that series. Like, I didn't think that would be
Yeah.
possible.
Now, I think that's fair. Because like I said too, I've remembered so many things
Yeah.
over long periods of time. But that's
Yeah.
where with like Wars of Light and Shadow, I don't recommend people do my style of reading it either, because I was in a group reading one book a month, and then I just binged the last like half of the series. I didn't read anything else, just did it till I was finished because I had to finish it.
Yeah.
And I loved it. But I wouldn't recommend most people to do that because that's a huge commitment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there are a couple of series that are like that. I mean, I would count Wheel of Times into that. Even Kate Elliott's Crown of Stars series is probably also not something that you like. 7 books, they're all chunky too. That
I
you
did
read
read
like
those decently close. I think I binged the last 3 or 4 of those too. But the last 2 are like almost like part 1 and part 2.
Okay, well,
Also, book 4 was my favorite, and so which Dairy, book 4 is like the most Hob thing you'll ever read from somebody who's not Hob. Is my selling point for you. It is. If you took it out of context and said it was a Robin Hobb book, I would almost believe you because it's very Hobb-y with what happens, and it's really good.
that's something now that we're talking Hob, I'm really, really excited about. And I know Darius too, because February is the month where I finally will be starting Hob. I mean, I really, really hope
I
that
need
I
to
get to
lurk
it.
in your chat.
You need to what?
I need to lurk in your chat. I'm not. I don't have time to reread that book, but I'll be excited to see what you guys think. After reading that series, there were so many like people and communities. I was in so many chats, and I don't have as much time for it now. But there's so many people to talk about. So
Yeah. I'm going one after another. Yes. Good character work. Malazan is good for okay. I assume you
that's the
understand.
one I was laughing.
Yep.
There is at least one that dies in the series. I will say, I'm pretty sure
Poor
dogs
doggo.
are very important. I think that's more of I'm not gonna explain that joke. You'll find out eventually.
Is that a Hob joke or is that a Crown of Stars joke?
I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to spoil either one.
Not sure I like this or not. Oh, I'm not worried about that at all. That was more because I have so much dense fantasy on my TBR for at the moment that I'm a bit worried, but I'm so excited to get to it. Finally, I'm glad we made that decision.
The first book at least is not crazy long.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Well, one book at a time.
I always tell people there. The first book is very good, but I was not sold until book 2, personally.
Huh.
Book 1 I read and I'm like, this was really good, but like I don't get the hype. And then I was like partway through book 2 and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And like I was like just like a switch flipped. And you know, it's become one of my all-time favorite series too.
That's what I'm hoping for you.
Yeah. And so that's why I said if it starts, like as long as you don't really clash with it, at least do book 2 because for me it just took me a little bit longer to fully get there.
Okay.
But
fair. Yeah. I'm just hoping I'm always worried with, and this is going to sound so like, oh, I never like popular series, but I'm always worried with popular series. And by the way, Derry, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Poor doggos. Because I've had bad luck with on booktube overhyped series. Derry, don't listen for a second. Like hold your ears. Like Dungeon Crawler Call is an example. I did not get it. I was so disappointed by that book and gave up halfway through book 2. But it's also very specific, so that might be a weird one. But I had other situations where I was like, so I'm really hoping Hop is not one of them because everything I hear about it sounds like this is me. So I'm really hoping it will work.
I've had the same thing. I'm usually very disappointed by the really popular ones. Dungeon Crawler Carl is probably the most shocking thing to me. I love the series, and I can't believe it. They're right behind me.
I know. I know.
I
That's why I said that, because I saw those.
I avoided it for so long because people kept talking about it. I'm like, that does not sound like something I'm going to enjoy. And it did take me a little bit to like get fully sold. I'm like, I thought the first book was pretty decent, but I ended up getting into. I also binged that one, but also the audio
It's
is
very bingeable too. Yeah.
so easy to binge. Yeah, but so that was I'm still. I don't understand. I've had people like be like, "Oh, so you probably like," and they're like some other lit RPG. I'm like, "No, I hate lit RPG. I don't like it. I can't get into it." This is the only exception. I don't
Yeah.
know. It just works for me. Um, so that's why whenever people don't like it, I'm like, "Hey, I shouldn't like it." Sometimes it's hard to know why I do. It just worked for
Yeah.
me.
And
Um,
that's why,
so
sometimes it's just nice to figure out then those types of books where like I didn't think I like it. Which one was that for Andrew? Andrew had one too the other day with Empire of the Vampire. He was also like, I'm not going to
mm,
like this. And then it was like his favorite series ever. I was like, okay. Yeah, that was also one of those popular books where I was like, ooh, no, thank you. Sorry,
he's
Derry.
he's tried to convince me to read that one, but
Oh,
Trin has
sorry.
told me I won't like it. And Trin and I have the most opposite taste. And so when she tells me I'm not going to like it, I believe her. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Oh yeah, right. I saw that. He is cashing in right now on that. Unbelievable.
yeah.
No, and
Um,
that's fair, and that's why I'm not worried about it too. But I again, I'm really excited about Hop, and I'm really, really, really hoping that Hop is going to work for me. I will take deep breaths and be very calm, try not to get overexcited, and then it will work.
yeah. So
It's
Zach,
going to
my
be
wife,
fine.
it will be. It will be. I say my wife hates Dungeon Crawler Carl because the sound it makes when they're talking to each other via chat, the little beeping sound, drives her up a wall. And so whenever I would be listening to it like without headphones, like in the shower or something, she would just come in and be like, "Are you reading that damn Carl book again?" And like hated it. It would just seriously, she was so mad and she hates it so much. And the only I'm gonna tell the story now and hope she's not watching. The only audio thing she's ever hated more is that when I was doing I think I was doing my first ever audio reread of Wheel of Time, and we were in the car and she had fallen asleep, and she wakes up to the part with the portal stones where it's just flicker 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 flicker, and she like woke up like, what's happening, and like it startled her. I almost had to pull over. I was laughing so hard. She was like, just like, she was like so startled by it, and it was so funny.
Extra is a good word for that. Yes. Yeah. Oh, I should check that out. I don't know if I've ever read it. I know you said this before, Derry. I've never read the review, I don't think, because I
I'm
just ignore. I'm for me, it's the book just doesn't exist.
I'm kind of curious to read this now, so I'm gonna have to look it up. But
Okay.
I'm
All
still probably
right.
gonna have to read the book though.
I always say, like, at least start it, especially if you can get it through a library or something, or, I mean, on Amazon, you can read like the first pages and whatnot. With Empire of the Vampire, I think, I haven't read the whole book. I DNF'd it, I don't know, 100 pages or so in. But I believe from everything that I've heard, if you don't vibe with the first, whatever, 30, 40, 50 pages, then you can put it down and walk away from it. Like, it's very, very fast. You'll realize what is going on, and if you like it or not, like the writing style and the storytelling style. And
It
I
makes
mean,
sense.
yeah, it's not because of the violence or whatever. It just the way it was written, it was extra. I think, Zach, you said it's extra. Like the way it's just the way he tells the story was just not for me. Yeah, exactly. If the vibe is constant, exactly. If you don't like it at the beginning, you're good. So give it a try, and either you like it or you don't. But then not that you don't have enough to read already.
And it can always be more.
Don't say that too loud. By the time we are done with the Backlist book club pick, Empire of the Vampire might be considered a Backlist title. And then we just...
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Oh God.
Oh man.
Oh. Alrighty. Okay, well that's good. That's good. But
Immediately,
I love sushi.
J. Christoph review, very cringy. So
Well, then you probably okay. Given Darius' comment earlier, then you probably won't like it. Yeah.
yeah, I assume not. So that tracks a lot.
Oh, blah. Marmite is very specific.
What?
Ooh. That's an Australian bread.
Oh no, I missed the comment that was in reply to. So I'm like, what is happening right now? So
we are completely going off the rails in the chat. That's what's happening. I guess.
Yeah, I mean that fits though. It's all good. So I was gonna say I've had Vegemite. Did not agree with me at all. But
I learned the other day what it is. I was like, yeah, I'm not surprised. It's like old yeast, like from beer brewing. It's the yeast with sugar. It's like, yeah, that already doesn't sound appetizing. Oh, we're good. We're good. Alrighty. We don't have rails. Right. Listen, my scrolls are on a rave or whatever they're saying. There's nothing there are no guardrails or anything going on here. I don't even know how I function most of the time.
Yeah. We're just going from one idea to another, trying to find a donkey bridge between.
Yes, exactly. I love it. There's one takeaway from this chat today.
That's oh man.
Alrighty, guys. Okay, so I feel good. We've talked about the first 3 books. We have the next 3 books planned out.
Progress.
Anything else that we need to cover?
I think we've covered a wide variety of topics.
Good.
This has been a blast, as always, for sure. So, but,
not the last.
I'm excited.
Time. Yes,
so,
This is not going to be the last time. I'm looking forward to the next.
Yes, we need to do these more regularly because it's just so much fun. And yeah, I'm so excited for all of the books coming up to chat about those and just to chat in general. So
yes, I 100% agree. I'm excited that you're enjoying it, Zach. I'm glad you're with us. And again, not every book is for everyone. If you want to skip one, that's totally fine. And if you have a preference, like, I mean, we always keep talking about the random books that we have on our list. If you're like, ooh, this is the one, let us know, and then we'll make sure that we prioritize that a bit more. So, you said Jaren, 100%. Right? Like that was yours. Okay, so we'll make sure that after April, we'll figure things out.
Yeah.
Yes. I like it. Yes, I think so. Slowly, that's what I'm trying to do. Again, scrolls on a rave and whatnot. Thanks everybody for joining. Thanks for joining the Backlist Book Club and for having fun with us and enjoying some good old sci-fi and fantasy. Yes. Awesome. Noted. Absolutely noted. Thank you. With that, have an amazing weekend, guys. I know it's late Friday or early Saturday for Derry. Have an amazing weekend. Get some good reading in and have a blast, I guess. Love y'all. Thanks.